It is Chinese Grand Prix week, and hello everybody, and welcome to the 25-minute build-up that we've got here. First of two, we're going to be doing this here in Japan as well as here in China. It's going to be very, very exciting. We're not too far away from race start. Let's send it now down to Ted Kravitz and Bernie Collins for the pre-race build-up, along with Sky Sports.
Even going to look at us and give us the thumbs up.
Yeah, they're deep in that car trying to get whatever electrical box it is. The difficulty that we have is if they can't source the box that it is, then they have to run through a various number of things. It could be any range of different electrical things. It could be the ECU, could be something on the chassis side, could be as much as a very small sensor that's been disconnected that they can't get back together. So those guys are working on it. They know they will have a countdown in there, try and get it together as frantically as they can.
No information? No information? No? Okay, they won't give us any. What can they say? I mean, they're still working on it. They'll do it as quick as they can. I mean, maybe you'd say that with where McLaren are at the moment, they don't know if they're going to be in championship contention yet. But every point, as we know, at the end of the year is valuable. They don't know. They might make improvements and challenge the Mercedes for wins.
Exactly. And you know, every race, there's a lot that can happen, from safety cars to incidents. They need to get the learning on this car. They need to get the learning on the engine as much as anything else. So every lap is vital.
There's a big concert in town tonight. Big Imagine Dragons are playing. Hi guys, how are you?
Doing great, doing great.
Yeah, so it's the Loom Tour. You've been around, you've got tonight and Tuesday.
Yeah, we played 2 nights ago and then tonight and then one more Tuesday here. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So you like our show here? I mean, you're at Las Vegas regular. Have you been to that race there?
No, this is my first time at a race. But I'm born and raised Las Vegas. So I should have gone, but I'm always on the road. So yeah.
That's good. That's where the fun is to happen now. Listen, have a great gig. Lovely to see you Dan from Imagine Dragons, lead singer. So yeah, what else can we see around here? I mean, there's a great opportunity. You know, Martin started, Bernie, having a look at these new cars on the grid in Australia. I keep finding interesting things.
Yeah.
Look at this pitot tube on the Audi, just by the number 5 of Gabriel Bortoletto.
Yeah, well, I think we need
to
get another one to sort of compare it to, because normally the pitot tube comes almost vertically. If you see it actually on the racing balls here, pitot tube tends to come vertically out of the chassis and then do a 90 into the direction of travel of the car. So it's very unusual. It's almost like a little fin structure. Do you think we get any aero performance from that? I'm not sure, but that is definitely a standout pitot tube for sure.
Okay, all right. Interesting discussion going on over here. Oliver Mintzlaff, the boss of Red Bull Motorsport, talking to Alan Permain, the boss of team principal of Racing Bulls. On the Racing Bulls, I don't understand why this airbox is so massive. Can you explain? It's like somebody designed it on a computer, thought, yeah, we'll make it that massive, so maybe they can slim down the side pods. It's too big.
Yeah, it is. It's noticeably a lot bigger than all of the other cars.
Yeah.
But their side pod opening, if you can see there where the fan goes in, is much, much smaller. So it'll be a balance between where the radiators are for oil or water that's cooling various parts of the engine or the gearbox. Obviously, they've prioritised a bit higher up. Why that doesn't normally happen is you want to keep the weight as low down on the car as you possibly can.
Okay. I spotted the seats are interesting. So they've changed. Haas have come here with a little new wing under the exhaust for this race.
Yes.
But there's a little temperature sticker on there. Now that we've reduced the motor generator unit heat, are they super? Oh, look, they covered the top of the crush structure with metal. Are they getting higher temperatures in that area than before?
Yeah, I think they will be seeing slightly higher temperatures. And, you know, having this temperature sticker on there is the quickest and easiest method of figuring out how hot any area of the car gets during the race. And that is very common, like engineering practice. But I think we will be seeing hotter out of the exhaust. Loads of teams have various different coverings. And even when you see it, it's carbon fibre. Even when the rear crash structure is carbon fibre in that area,
yeah,
it'll be a heated carbon fibre. So it'll be a carbon fibre that will take a higher temperature than the carbon fibre you would use on the wing, for example.
Okay, so we've got the Haas cars here, the Astons behind us, the Williams behind us. So still not in the pit lane, but this is an interesting little issue on the back of Max Verstappen's car, and we're just getting the shove from the mechanics. Fair enough there, but we can stand behind the barriers. It looks like they've got an issue with the rear wing pillar that has come. Some fun games going on here with Phillips.
Pedals is using as hard
He's
as
a
much as they
character,
can.
isn't he? What a
But
character.
yeah, it does look like they're trying to change the rear wing.
The support, yeah, the rear wing pillar support.
Just like come on and
How would
put the
that
wheel there.
have? How would that have? Would it
Well,
broken
they might have
or?
seen an issue on the laps to the grid. They might have tried to activate DRS. Maybe it's not worked as well, or not DRS, but
Can you do me a
straight mode, I
favour?
should say.
Yeah.
And that's a
And go
glitch
and
from
get the
last
washing
year.
off line
But they
downstairs,
could have
please.
found something in that area, and it might not be. It might actually be maybe the rear suspension in some way. The rear suspension obviously mounts in there as well.
Yeah.
But you can see they've had to take the engine cover off. So the engine cover has actually been removed, and you can see the tape hanging down at the sides, ready to get that engine cover remounted and then taped back on. So they've got a bit of work there, because that's if it's a rear wing pillar change, that's a big change.
As if they didn't have enough issues at the
I know
moment.
there's people frantically working to get these cars on the grid, isn't there?
Yeah, what is going on with Max Verstappen? All right, let's hope that gets fixed. The space that Lando Norris's car would be,
Yeah,
and
that's a very sad
that's
space.
horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's so bad just to see the space. Oscar Piastri, there he'll be upholding McLaren's battle as they can, and then the Ferraris. This is where it's going to get interesting. I mean, Mercedes, we've all been saying so far, need to park the bus to try and block out the Ferraris, but they can't do that around the whole first lap, can they?
No, they can, but that Ferrari has been so quick off the line, and it's also been very quick for the first few laps as well. So it seems to.
Happy Mother's Day to Lewis.
Well, he did actually do a tweet earlier to say Happy Mother's Day to her as well. I didn't see that. But yeah, I think that they've been very quick in the first few laps, and something about how they can get the grip in the tyres, how they can use the chassis, is allowing them in the opening laps of the race to be very, very strong.
Okay, all right, let's just have a look at the front. Here we're by Kimi Antonelli's car. We can see his crash helmet ready to go, held with care by his dad, Marco. Such an important day for him. Oh, it's gonna be such a challenge for him to keep that lead. He's got George alongside him, but what are the chances, you think?
Yeah, I think that it is going to be a challenge, but I did see them just check the front wing there after the issues that they had in qualifying. So up and down the grid, it is not guaranteed that the reliability is in these cars yet.
Okay, right, so we already have Lando Norris off the grid. We already have some issues on Max Verstappen's car. We already have these cars that are breaking down all over the place in races. Possibility of safety car strategy to a one-stop, to a two-stop. It's very close. It's going to be an early morning voyage into the unknown, but it all starts after the anthem.
Grand Sound's full Chinese national anthem is done. Let's hear it from Max Verstappen.
Hi Max, I know yesterday you weren't having much fun. What would be a positive result for you today? What would leave you feeling a bit better? What sort of result?
Well, I mean, I hope that we can be ahead of the Alpine. That should be the target. The other cars ahead are too fast this weekend. So realistically, is a P7 or P6? I don't know what happened to Lando. So yeah, we'll have a look.
All right, thanks Max. Go.
Pragmatic as ever is Max Verstappen. Quite stood here. The first person up for the anthem, he bounded up like a puppy. It was Kimi Antonelli. He wants to get underway, as well he might.
He's kind of soaking it in, which I really like actually. He's kind of got a smile on his face. You can see he's nervous. There's a bit of tension there, but he's soaking it up to a degree. And yeah, he's got this kind of like puppy kind of energy, which I quite like.
It's so refreshing. I mean, he's just brought so much positive energy, hasn't he, to the sport?
Yeah, he's a little bit strung up now, but you know, he's got that young attitude and he's a little bit under pressure.
pressure. It's because once you start first, you cannot get any better in the race. But there's a lot of pressure there.
Starts huge in this early part of Formula 1 in 2026. Let's go to the Sky Paddock. Is there on that very subject?
But it's a big day, a big occasion for our youngest Grand Prix pole sitter, Kimi Antonelli. But so far, his starts haven't been that good this year, at least in a racing sense. This was him yesterday in the sprint race. Teammate George Russell alongside him pulls away clearly. Kimi erupting in wheel spin after momentarily bogging down, overtaken by 7 cars before the time he even gets to turn 1. And like I say, it hasn't just been one occasion. This was in Australia last week, also sitting on 2nd place on the grid. And it was a similar story. Lots of wheel spin again. George didn't particularly get a good start, and all these cars overtaking him before the first corner once again. So it must be a nerve-wracking occasion for this race, the Grand Prix today. And if we look at the Ferraris, they're super fast off the start. Have been all year so far, the testing we've done, the races we've had. And this was Hamilton yesterday in the sprint race, starting from P4. That's the slow-moving Antonelli in front, straight past him. Then immediately looking to his left-hand side, he's got Lando Norris in the McLaren. He's got a nice gap here in front of him through turn 1 and gets past him and slots in behind the race leader, George Russell. Later on in the lap, however, by the time they get to turns 6, 7 and 8, he's on the attack and uses all of his experience and his instinctive racing knowledge to just drive around the outside of Russell and claim the lead of the race. So that is definitely something for us to be watching out for today.
Well, I'm down at Lando Norris's car at the moment, and Lando has returned to the garage. He's at the back there with his trainer John, and he is preparing to get into it, which is good news. He's pulled his race suit up, he is preparing to put his hands device and his helmet on. But when he walked back in, he went in and spoke to his engineers, and the face he pulled was not one of positivity, I'm afraid. They're not sure at the moment whether or not he is going to be able to compete in this race. He's getting ready as though he is, but we're still waiting here at McLaren, as you can see, everyone else is, to see if he can get out and compete. Ted, back to you.
Thank you, Rachel. Let's get the latest on Max Verstappen's car with the team boss, Lauren McKees. What are we looking at, Lauren?
No, it's going to be all right.
Sure. The exhaust pipe's not on. They've just finished changing the rear.
The rear is going to be all right. No, we had a small issue with the actuation of the rear wing coming to the grid, and it's been replaced now.
Okay. Wow. Is it just a mark of how new these cars are, or why we're seeing these things? It's so rare for Red Bull to have an issue like this on the grid.
You know, it's still a very new car. In the beginning of the season, everything is pushed to the limit. But the guys have been incredible, and they've reacted very, very quickly.
Okay, thank you, Lauren. We can just have a look, Simon, at Max being explained what's happening with his car by his engineer. And, you know, he might have said, well, at least we can beat an Alpine. You know that's playing it down, don't you, Simon, with Max in that car? Well, anything's possible.
Yeah, there was a hint of irony there from Max when he said that. But it's all smiles at the moment. Yeah, very quickly, right, let's get into it. We saw some fabulous racing early on, didn't we, in the sprint. This complex, 1, 2, 3, 4 around there. Lots of different lines you can take into it, and it was back and forth thing.
It's awesome. It kind of fans into there, but the seas can kind of open, and if you pick the right spot, like Lewis said yesterday, there's opportunities to take. That as well as the whole lap. Now with these new cars, I think the whole lap is going to be exciting, so it's not all about the start.
Then I didn't notice yesterday, but watching the start again, it's not on the start that Lewis made the difference. He didn't have a better start. It's after, through the first corner in his racecraft, which was amazing. And looking from here, I never noticed, because I raced here, I never noticed there's banking in that first corner.
Yeah, there is. It's apparent when you stand here on the grid. A penny for his thoughts. First ever pole, as you can see there, the youngest by 360 odd days, I think he was, from 560 odd days from Sebastian Vettel. What's going through his he just wants to get a good start because he didn't get that in the sprint.
All he's got to think about is what he does on his formation lap, because whatever he's done the last 2 races hasn't worked. The procedure's not been right, so he's got to get a good formation lap and a good start.
It's a stress. It's really a stress because he knows he's messed it up. And when you have that in the back of your mind, you're not relaxed. And so we will see now he is under pressure. That will be super exciting to watch.
I know, I'm excited for this one. I really am. I don't know if you are at home. Certainly Jacques and Jamie are too, because when we've got Mercedes have knocked out the front row of the grid, but in behind Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Ferraris have been amazing off the line. Can they take the lead? We always see the yo-yo racing we saw in Melbourne and in the sprint. We are about to find out. Just about ready for the Chinese Grand Prix.
Jesus Christ almighty. Oh, don't get banned. Holy heck. Okay. Jesus. Okay, I'll be back. Who's... Yeah, I'll be back.
Just about set for the Chinese Grand Prix. New rules, hectic racing. Will there be a fresh face? The top set tonight.
上海，它是一个海纳百川的包容性的城市。在这个城市里，我看到了包容，看到了开放，看到了人文。这是一个特别棒的城市，也欢迎大家一起来到上海。 是一名中国的川剧变脸艺人，在川剧变脸当中，每一张脸谱都代表了不同的寓意，如红色代表着忠勇，白色则代表着阴险狡诈，黑色代表了刚直。变脸有很多保密的地方，因为这是我们的秘密。 如果告诉大家，它就没了一丝神秘性。冰冻3尺，非一日之寒。我需要每天不断的钻研，不断的练功，苦练深眼手法，细修精气神韵，才能达到出神没化的效果。
Shanghai and the 19th World Championship Chinese Grand Prix Round 2 of this 2026 season, and already high drama here before the off. Lando Norris, defending champion, currently in his car in the garage. Electrical issues affecting his McLaren, and 60 seconds ago his teammate Oscar Piastri pushed off the grid and back into the garage too. McLaren are in severe danger of having no car compete in this Chinese Grand Prix, which they won last last year with Oscar Piastri from pole position. And we have 16 corners, 7 to the left and 9 to the right. We have new rules and regulations, new compounds, and for tyres as well, they're narrower and slightly harder compounds. There's still a C4, C3, C2, and they're still going to be punished around this 3.38 mile circuit. And we've currently got 2 McLarens in the garage. We've got Alex Albon starting from the pit lane, and Gabriel Bortoletto and Audi also being pushed off the grid. This is the way the starting grid then, Mike.
Here we go. Alex Albon and Sergio Perez line up position 21 and 22 on the grid, followed by Lance Stroll and Valtteri Bottas, P20 and P19 as well. Position 18, Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz line up in 18th and 17th. In 16th is Gabriel Bortoletto and Arvid Lindblad. 16th and 15th, the RB team just scraping through into Q2. Liam Lawson and Esteban Ocon. Liam Lawson, Franco Colapinto in position 12 and Nico Hulkenberg in position 11. Franco Colapinto just missing out on the 10. Ollie Behrman just scraped in. Isaac Hadjar also just scraped in the Red Bull Ford for 2026. Max Verstappen and Pierre Gasly. Max Verstappen saying just on the pre-grid there that Red Bull being out-qualified by Alpine is quite embarrassing. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, P5 and P6. Both McLarens, though, they are in the pit lane. Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton line up position 3 and position 4 on the grid. George Russell and Kimi Antonelli, though, they line up Mercedes 1-2 on the grid. This should be exciting. Both McLarens currently sit in the pit lane. P5, P6. There is our reigning world champion. I don't even think he's going to be able to start the car at this point, or even get it to the end of the pit lane. Oscar Piastri, though, he's sitting inside his car, but it's questionable as to whether or not he will even make it to the pits. Lewis Hamilton there starting in 3rd position. This is going to be interesting for Ferrari. We know Ferrari are a fast starting team. They got the starting sort of positioning down pat. Of course, Kimi Antonelli, of course, the youngest ever pole sitter in Formula 1 history. He broke a record yesterday in qualifying. Can he break another one by winning his first Grand Prix? That would be quite cool to see. Podium points, 25 for first. Second place is 18. And third place is 15 for those people that are new to Formula 1. And that is the trophy that first place will be getting at the end of 58 laps. Sorry, 57 laps for the Chinese Grand Prix. This is going to be very exciting. Now, what compounds do you start on here? Do you start on the hard compound tyres? Try and get a good tyre out of the way. Try and see how long those hard tyres can last. Or do you start on the mediums? The soft tyres, you would think, would be out of the question. Let's see what tyres the teams are starting on. It looks like mediums for the front two. Mediums for the second row. Mediums, soft compound tyres starting on both Red Bulls. Medium compound tyres, those looks to be the way. I think I saw a hard tyre, another hard tyre, possibly another hard tyre as well. Grand Prix though, Grand Prix Sunday. It's about to tick 3 o'clock and we will get this race well and truly underway. Formation lap is about to get underway. 2 grid spots not being taken. And that is from the 2 McLarens. Saying in a press conference earlier on in the week that they felt like they didn't really have the pace whatsoever to win a championship. Now, soft hard, that would be tricky. We know that the softs could probably last about 12 laps. The pit window you have to get the soft compound tyres to is lap 18. That is difficult. Or you can run the medium hard, more simpler strategy. But if there was a safety car for those soft runners, it would almost inevitably help them. And try and, of course, get those hard compound tyres to the end of the race. At the moment, the fastest pit stop in 2026 is, of course, the Mercedes Crew, 2.17 seconds. That's the time to beat Bernie Collins in Sky Race Control.
From around lap 10, and then 2 sets of hard tyres from there. Or do they think they can stretch a single hard tyre, use the soft off the start line to gain some positions, and then have an early pit stop onto the hard tyre, or take an early safety car onto a hard tyre, and then they can make the decision after that, Crofty. They can decide depending on how that hard tyre progresses. With teams only running 2 hard tyres to this event, nobody really knows. Nobody knows what the greening is going to be like in these conditions on the hard tyres. So anyone that stops early onto that is taking a gamble.
And even if they'd have all run the hard tyre yesterday, the track temperature is about 13 degrees cooler than it was for the sprint race. Oscar Piastri.
Oscar Piastri still in the pit lane. This is unfortunate. This is really unfortunate. I did see Lando Norris possibly starting on the hard compound tyres, seeing how long he could get those, but I don't even think he'll be starting this race. Watch out for the 2 Ferraris. The Shanghai circuit is the Zhejiang district of China and is steeped in over 800 years of history. There you go. Fun fact for you all at home. This race, though, it's going to spice up real quickly. It's going to be between the 2 Mercs and the 2 Ferraris. What will happen? Nobody will know. Welcome in, Arif. Welcome back, my friend. You've just joined us for the Chinese Grand Prix. The weekend attendance fully sold out. We have a packed grandstand on the left-hand side. Nearly, if I was to say, probably nearly 500,000 seats filled in that grandstand of Chinese fans that have come out to watch the Chinese Grand Prix. It is sold out. This place is chock-a-block, and they've been coming in this morning since the SRO GT Cup race was on. The F1 Academy also got their support as well. Must I say, even Porsche Carrera Cup got support. So all the support categories, there's at least been half a grandstand here, which is amazing to see, especially for F1 Academy. Merc and Ferrari are going to go crazy in quali and Grand Prix. Let's wait and find out, Arav. This is going to be very, very interesting. Big news, though. McLaren not starting this race. What seems to be an issue for Lando Norris's car and Oscar Piastri's car, well, that's questionable. I think Lando Norris's car, though, it's a seat drama. So we'll see what happens there. And I think Oscar Piastri genuinely just has a problem. We'll see if that car can get out there, though. The build-up, it's over. The Chinese Grand Prix is about to get underway. Pre-start, blue lights on. They flash, they will come off, and the red lights will come on. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go on a good start for both Mercs off the line. The Ferraris once more jumping off to the start. Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, they run side by side, nearly 4 wide into turn up 1. They nearly made contact. Lewis Hamilton sweeps around the outside. George Russell there on the inside. Lewis Hamilton leads Charles Leclerc, side by side. George Russell contact into turn number 3. But so far, so good. George Russell sweeping around the outside, I think that is. Or I could be corrected, and it could be Kimi Antonelli that is taking second place. Yellow flag out there in the background. Who is that? That looks to be one of the Alpines around. That was not good. Not a good start. I think it might be one of the Alpines. RB going off wide there in the background. But so far, so good. What seems to be a good start for Ferrari. Again, they're mastering the starts here in Shanghai. Yep, it has been all about Ferrari with the starts. But now they've got to maintain it. Dude, your commentary is crazy. Yeah, thank you so much, Arrow. Thank you. I'll get to that other message in a minute. But a good start from Charles Leclerc. Well, actually, sorry, Lewis Hamilton, who's taking the race lead. Up the inside goes one of the fastest cars. That is Ollie Behrman on the inside and deep into the corner. That is going to give Isaac Hadjar the chance to go back up the inside. And they're going to be side by side on the exit of the corner. Hadjar's around. Oh, big monstrous spin. Hadjar's around. And the tyres smoking in the process. Hadjar around. And that was nearly a big accident. Behrman was this close to hitting him. That was so close. Who is that covering? That's Colapinto and Lindblad. Lindblad up the inside, but that is Lawson covering. They're going to be... Oh, this is absolutely amazing racing. Both RBs, they're squabbling and they're trying to get Colapinto on the exit. Both RBs, and overtake enabled. Hadjar told to box. That is understandable because those soft tyres would feel like they've been hit by a monster truck. Up the inside goes one of the Williams. That is Carl Sainz up the inside of Fernando Alonso, side by side. We aren't expecting that Aston Martin to last long, just like it did in Australia. But what a start this has been to this Chinese Grand Prix. Man, what did I miss last week? Flippin' heck. Antonelli now putting pressure on the back of the 7-time world champion. Lewis Hamilton with a little bit of debris flying off the Mercedes car. I'll be questionable as to if that was. Hadjar has boxed. I think he's coming now out on the hard compound tyres. You'd be stupid to go to the mediums this early on in the race. It's a 2.7 second pit stop. Now, could that play into effect a bit later on with an early undercut? That could put Hadjar right back in the game. Now, you should hope that there's no safety car early on. Kimi Antonelli, though, well, it was a questionable start again. It wasn't as bad as what it was before, but it definitely wasn't the best. What did Arab say before? Merck and Ferrari are going crazy in quali and Grand Prix. They certainly are. It just seems like they're, at this point, almost unstoppable compared to the other teams. Antonelli now retakes the lead with straight mode available to the car. Burning battery as well. Antonelli takes the lead, and Oscar Piastri, sadly, out of the Grand Prix, will not be taking place for the second Grand Prix in a row. And once more, that is 2 lots of points Oscar Piastri has missed out on, and that might just shaft his championship run that he was hoping to go on. Up inside goes George Russell on a move on Charles Leclerc. That's going to get the move done there. And nicely done. Russell up into 3rd position. Gets the move done on Charles Leclerc that time around. We're on to lap 3 now. 53 laps to go left in this race. But I'm just going to go back here. It was a much better start from Kimi Antonelli than what he had in the sprint. The sprint was questionable. Perez Bottas, incident noted, turn 3, collision. So that was turn 3. That is on the exit of the fast left-hander, sorry, Max Verstappen. Position 10 at the moment on those used soft tyres. See what he can do. George Russell, fastest lap of the race. 3rd place at the moment, 138.0. So the fastest lap of the race there from George Russell. The battery, I love this battery symbol, by the way. I love it. It gives us a good opportunity to see where all the drivers' battery sort of levels are. Of course, that boost mode as well, where you get that extra boost of battery in the battery pack as well. So that will be very interesting. And, of course, the straight mode as well. And the active arrow will become a big, big play. But, yeah, overtake mode available. And you can see there, Hamilton that time around, he burnt quite a bit of his battery. Only now have got 25% left, so he's burnt quite a bit. Antonelli's also burnt quite... Actually, to be completely honest, he hasn't burnt that much. He's still got 65% battery left, according to the graphic here. So 65% left, and Antonelli has pulled 1 second already. And that is a full active aero. That is a full rear wing. 1 second, of course. Sort of like DRS is now. Hamilton retakes... Sorry, Russell takes the position on Hamilton, and he's gone up into position 2 now. So the Ferraris are good off 1 lap sort of stance, are not so good over a race distance. And it seems, again, that Mercedes are just unstoppable in the early phase of this race here. Antonelli leads out in front. Doesn't mean much in the early part of this race. Still got 52 laps to go. It is still a chunk of this race remaining. And it's a 1 second margin, Antonelli to Russell for the moment. Hamilton back to Leclerc, back to Gasly, back to Colapinto, back to Lawson in position 7. Ocon position 8, Lindblad position 9, and Max rounding out your top 10 for the moment. The biggest gain at the moment is Colapinto. He's up 6 positions. That has been an absolute amazing start. The biggest loser has been Isaac Hadjar. We've got Lindblad up 6, Alonso, Bottas, Stroll, and Perez are up 4. Ocon up 5, Lawson up 7 spots. That is your winners and losers in terms of the starting order there. But the top 4 have stayed the way they are now, as everybody has filed their way back into position. We've got 52 laps to go, and Antonelli already has pulled a 1 second margin. That is quite astonishing indeed. Now everybody's going to start to settle down, find a bit of a rhythm in this race. And those tyres are continuously coming up to temperature and pressure. Also, the other thing is, you've got to be careful. You've got to try and protect these medium tyres as much as possible. The hard runners, maybe not as much, but you still need to. The hard compound tyres, they also wore throughout that sprint as well. We did see that, the hard tyres wear a lot in this race as well. Max Verstappen to the outside of Lindblad, and he's got the move done already. Those tyres look like they're shredded pieces of rubber. Max Verstappen wide, and Lindblad still side by side with him on the exit of 3. I think Max Verstappen got that move done and has made his way up into position 10. Let's take a look at the race restart here. Not a bad jump, to be completely honest with you, from both the Mercs. They did seem to bottom down a little bit, and both Ferraris once more. They went 4 wide, 1 point into turn number 1. I think that was Russell who had to back out, and both Ferraris swooped right around the outside of Andrea Kimi Antonelli. They were side by side into turn 3. Kimi, and that was Hamilton up the curb into turn 3, and Kimi Antonelli got the position. But what a start, must I say, for the Ferraris. Again, they're just so good at their starts. Leclerc, also a very good start, had nowhere to go because his teammate was almost just blocking the way. Had nowhere to go, right round the outside of both Mercs. You can see there, you can see him there looking in the mirror. Maybe he also burnt a bit of battery. That was Leclerc up the curb as he tried to make the position. You can see he bottomed out quite a bit because the wheel physically almost stopped turning. This is Max Verstappen on what seems to be a slightly fresh soft compound tyre. Went nowhere, so maybe no battery deployment was available for Max Verstappen. Almost like he bogged down again, just like what he did in the sprint. That was very, very strange. He's not going to be happy about that. This is Sergio Perez on his teammate up the curb, and this is why he was under investigation. That was the Cadillac of Sergio Perez going spinning. I thought it was one of the Alpines that went around, but no, both Alpines are still inside the 10. That is the monstrous spin from Isaac Hadjar. Those tyres would no longer be a thing. That was Behrman deep, and it sent Hadjar wide, and then as Hadjar came back on the road, came back on the black stuff, had grass on his tyres, put the power down, and bang, straight around. Behrman was so lucky, actually, not to clip the rear end of that car. So lucky. That is Max right around the outside of Arvid Lindblad. Side by side, Max off the road. He lost nearly 1.1 seconds in that oversteer moment into turn number 1. Carried a bit too much speed. Jam the brakes, and it's almost, there's no ABS on these cars, by the way. So the moment you jam the brakes on, it's just you're going sideways, no matter what. Lewis Hamilton, though, third in this race. Riding on board with him down the front straight. He's got about 1.4 second margin from Russell to Hamilton. Back to Leclerc, back to Gasly, back to Colapinto, back to Ocon, back to Lawson, and of course Lindblad and Verstappen. But Verstappen has closed in here to the back of Arvid Lindblad. Watch out for Max as well. He's inside the active aero modes here. So both front and rear wing come up on the car, and that will give a 50% less drag on the car. And of course, you can only use that when you're inside 1 second. I think it's the boost mode that you can only use when you're inside 1 second. I stand corrected. I've been wrong all along. Max Verstappen inside boost mode, and he will be using the battery all the way down the front straight and into turn number 1. Now he goes. You can see Max a bit less on the battery. He's actually burning quite a bit into turn number 1 and turn number 2. But again, saving, and another oversteer moment for Max Verstappen. He is struggling on those soft compound tyres already. We're 7 laps into this race. You can see, just on that left front, the graining that's already starting to happen as he's trying to push as hard as humanly possible. He's struggling. Look at the graining on that soft compound tyre. Already, Red Bull would be immediately thinking of boxing at some point in this race. I think it might be a strategy blunt. Is that rain? Is that rain falling on the camera lens, ladies and gentlemen? I think there might be rain. You can see there, just on the camera lens, there was a drop of water that came down on the camera lens just then. That is very, very interesting indeed. We did have rain here in Shanghai a couple of weeks back, but ever since then we have not had no rain here in Shanghai. Look at that tyre for Max Verstappen. It is struggling at the moment to even keep the rubber on that thing. Nico Hülkenberg up the inside of, well, looking up the inside of Carlos Sainz. That is for 12th position. That did look like a raindrop, though. That very much looked like a raindrop on the windscreen, on the camera lens there. Up the inside, the Audi on Carlos Sainz gets the move done. Can Carlos Sainz go for the switchback? No, he cannot. Sideways out on the curb. Slightly bottomed out, what looked to be there for Hülkenberg, but he's got the move and up into position 12. 44 laps to go. We're 8 laps done. And Kimi Antonelli leads out in front by 1.5 seconds. This is the battle we're focusing on. Max Verstappen, Behrman, and Hülkenberg. Line 10th, 11th, and 12th. And I reckon Max now will be starting to feel a little bit vulnerable on those soft compound tyres. I won't be surprised. Max saying, immediately my tyres are dead. And I think that was a quality set of soft tyres. And his tyres are already dead on the Red Bull car. Saying over the radio there, my tyres are dead. Shock horror. That's going to be expected there. And even the mediums are dying as well. So the hards now are starting to become the better tyre. And it's only an 8-lap crossover between the soft and the medium tyre for the hard tyres to become the better tyre. You see the Red Bull crew getting set up for what looks to be possibly a lap 9 pit stop for Max Verstappen. If he was on a fresh soft, I reckon that would be a completely different story. He could probably take that soft tyre and immediately you could see lap 16, the soft tyre window opens to actually box. He is 7 laps early to boxing. This could be a bit of trouble. Meanwhile, the two RBs switching positions. That is Lindblad up the inside of Lawson. Lindblad's gone deeper and Lawson grabs the position back quite easily. Nicely done there. And the RBs now will continue to battle into turn number 16. There are Lindblad and Liam Lawson swapping positions. The two F2 rookies a couple years ago. Lindblad was an F2 rookie last year. Lawson was an F2 rookie nearly 3 years ago now. So he's been in this sport for quite a while. Of course, he made his debut last year in Red Bull. Has now moved to the Racing Bulls team. And is performing quite well inside the top 10. Both RBs at the moment. But they have got quite a dying Max Verstappen on those soft tyres.
Guys,
We are reviewing.
yeah, it's okay. I'm just going to lose time.
Yeah, because
Again, yeah, so I don't think there was a problem. I really don't think there's a problem with that. Deep under brakes. So that is Arvid Lindblad up the inside. Locks up. Lawson straight back up the inside. And what Lindblad is saying in that situation is that, well, the car in front of me, Lawson is slower. There's Oscar Piastri, though, walking into the paddock. Again, 2 races, 2 Grand Prix in a row that he has not scored any points that would shaft him in what wanted to be a championship run. Max Verstappen, though, he's stopped on his, more or less, position gaining here. He's stopped in position 10 and has not been able to make any time. Ollie Behrman, though, with the boost active in the rear end of that car, is going to be a threat to Max Verstappen. And I think he's going to get the move done. Max now out of the points and into P11. Lawson, has got the move done. I think there was a bit of contact, actually, between the house of Ollie Behrman and Max Verstappen. Lawson being told to box. What is happening with Liam Lawson? He's just told to box. So there you go. Getting off those mediums already. And Max also being told to box. In comes Max Verstappen, 6 laps early, and off the soft compound tyres.
For 2 stoppers, so we'll see how Max and Liam's races evolve from here. I've got the info from McLaren, Crofty. They're 2 completely different electrical issues. They are related to the power unit. So it's an interface between McLaren and Mercedes, a completely random set of circumstances, the team tell us. The cars were fine when they came in for qualifying. They were fine in the sprint race. Just a terrible coincidence that both Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris
that
have
is
issues.
Lance Stroll.
A coincidence? Yeah, just what can you say? And they're both out.
Lance Stroll, that Aston Martin has again not survived another race. It is out, and this might be a safety car. This is not going to be good for the likes of Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, Isaac Hadjar. That's not good. That is not good. Safety car deployed. Safety car. And, well, that's shafted Max. That's shafted Hadjar. It's practically shafted everyone that's already boxed. Lawson, Verstappen, Sainz, and Hadjar have been shafted. Now, what do Ferrari do here? And there's not enough bit. Again, they can't do what they did in Australia and keep both cars out. It just shafts them. Safety car out, though. To be honest, it's a completely different situation. We only have virtual safety cars in the Australian Grand Prix. It's a completely different situation. Off the mediums onto the hards for both Mercs. Ferrari, though, shafted. Who is that's been shafted? I think it was Charles Leclerc that's been shafted this time around by Ferrari. And yeah, that is Leclerc shafted. But there's not much time lost, if I'm being completely honest with you, in a pit stop. In a safety car pit stop, there's not much time lost. So that's one good thing that you're going to get out of that. Gasly and Behrman also in as well. So, of course, safety car has been deployed due to Lance Stroll. And if you would only think if Lance Stroll is out of this race, possibly Alonso would be close to getting out of this race as well. But yeah, that Aston Martin, I said it at the start of the stream, it's not expected to last very long at this point, to be completely honest with you. It is not expected to last long. 45 laps to go. Valtteri Bottas in the Cadillac is in. I'll actually see how long the Cadillacs last this season. Lance Stroll being biked off back to the pit paddock as well. Hadjar in. Bottas with a slow stop. Possibly a bit of double stacking. Paris is not boxed, so there's no double stacking involved in that. But it's that could have just been a slow stop for Bottas. I think it's a slow stop for Hadjar as well. Still in the box. No, that was not a slow stop for Hadjar. It's quite decent, actually. So, not too bad whatsoever. Colapinto has stayed out on those hard tyres. So has Ocon. And I think Lindblad also stayed out as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think Lindblad stayed out under that safety car. So, we'll see what happens there. This is what happened to Isaac Hadjar. So, it was a slow stop. I wasn't wrong. It was a slow start. Left front would not get off that car. Yep, and that's going to most likely shaft Isaac Hadjar for the rest of this race. And again, second race in a row that Hadjar has been shafted by, well, not even a pit stop. It's been mechanical dramas in Australia. And this race, it has been pit stop errors, which is something you don't normally see from Red Bull. But in that situation, he got it. Max Verstappen, shafted, has lost 4 spots from where he was before. That is the criticalness. If Red Bull had stayed out for an extra lap, they'd probably be P8, P9 in this order. But instead, they've lost an extra 9 spots, and Red Bull have shafted. Yep, they've shafted themselves. The other person that's been shafted in this situation has been Charles Leclerc, who was P4, has dropped to P7 due to the double stacking in the Ferrari pit stop. Lance Stroll's car, though, is getting towed away by the crane that is here at the track. But yeah, Colapinto has stayed out. Will that be a problem? Sergio Perez into the box in that Cadillac. Turns the car in. See how quick this pit stop is. Of course, sitting all the way at the end of the pit lane. Feels like an endless trundle. Medium's off. Whoa, that was a slow stop on the left rear. And it's a slow stop on the right rear as well. So the rear end of the Cadillac there, in terms of pit stop world, is not working for the team. And that has put Sergio Perez in behind his teammate at the end of that pit stop cycle there. Colapinto and Ocon, though, have stayed out. I reckon Alpine are in a good position here. If there is another safety car, Alpine are in a good position. Still, Steve Nielsen is catching up with Sky Sports F1.
He's running second, but let's give him a shout out. What a great start for this race for him.
Yeah, really good for Franco. I mean, obviously we benefited from McLaren's misfortune, but I'll take it. But no, really strong from both cars.
What's he reporting in terms of tyre wear so far? All the teams, I'm sure, worried about graining in this race.
Yeah, we had a bit of graining with Pierre. Took the opportunity to stop under the safety car. Franco, I think he's under control on the hard, so we'll see how far we can push him.
If you can hang on to a double points finish today, what does that mean in this early stages of the year to a team like Alpine?
It's everything to us, Crofty. You know, we've had a tough few months, and I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, looks good at the moment. Long way to go.
Steve, it's Anthony here. So who are you really racing in this race today? Who are you looking back? Because you've got the two, you're surrounded by the Mercedes at this point, but obviously they've just come in and they're on the new tyres.
I think I'm racing, honestly, the way this race has gone so far, I think we're racing everybody. I'm happy to push my luck as far as it'll go.
Brilliant. George Russell's just been on the radio, Steve, saying he thinks a one stop is going to be really tricky today. Do you concur?
We're probably all trying to do one stop. Let's see how it turns out.
Thanks, Steve. Speak to you.
Again, the one stop, as Steve just said, that's going to be difficult. No doubt about it, the one stop will be difficult due to the tyre degradation. We've seen it in all the support categories today. In F1 Academy, if you watched along with me a little bit earlier on today, F1 Academy, after just 8 laps, it was gone. Mercedes have been killing it this Grand Prix. They certainly have. But must I say, Colapinto, Ocon, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, now that I think of it, I'm starting to think of the whole tyre degradation thing. Mercedes have cooked. Wow, okay, I've just noticed the pit stop have been very good there. Ferrari, though, have done a Ferrari blunder and have shafted Charles Leclerc. So, Leclerc, the best man that is in shot to win this race, to be honest, both Ferraris were until this pit stop. The best opportunity they had is now gone. It's actually a bit of a slow stop from Ferrari. Right front struggled to get off that car, it looked like. So, a bit of a slow stop. But yes, safety car is in this lap, though. Colapinto, Ocon, how long can they last on their hard compound tyres? They sit in second and third, but it's been a good start so far from the two Mercedes. But yes, of course, welcoming Andy, the bread lover. I think I've seen you in stream before. Welcome back, man. Lando Norris out of this race as well. That was almost inevitable. Lando Norris out of the Grand Prix. It's very unfortunate there. But yeah, McLaren, a no point scoring weekend. That is just awful. That is just absolutely awful to see that. Can Franco Colapinto lead his first lap in Formula 1 history? We'll wait and find out. Ocon also has a chance, but how quick are Mercedes off this safety car restart? And can they drop that Alpine in a quick second? This could be a race-defining moment for Kimi Antonelli. If he can get a good start and pull away from Colapinto, if there's no safety car for the rest of this race, Antonelli could win this. Yeah, so it's now going to be up to George Russell, Hamilton and Leclerc to get their way through the grid if Antonelli can drop Colapinto. If that happens, it could be race over unless there's another safety car. Antonelli puts pedal to the metal, and we're go on lap 13 of the Chinese Grand Prix. Back to green, and Antonelli leads us off, and immediately a 6/10 margin has been pulled. Ocon looking up around the outside on Colapinto. Colapinto covers that off and keeps second position. Alonso's not had a good start. He's dropped nearly 3 spots off the line there. Russell immediately making moves down the inside of Esteban Ocon. Not going to happen. That is Lewis Hamilton right up the rear bumper of Arvid Lindblad. It's the same with Leclerc, same with Hamilton right up the rear bumper of both Mercedes. Ocon right around the outside, deep under brakes, looking for the move. Not going to happen. And I think that's Leclerc looking up. Hamilton got the move done on Russell, and he has. He's got the move done, and he's up into position 4. Max has had a good start on those hard compound tyres, up into position 11. Colapinto and Ocon will be vulnerable in the early phase of this race. Hamilton, though, the 7-time world champion, is flying off the start. Again, off safety car restarts, and off genuine just race starts in general. They just seem so quick off those starts. It's almost inevitable that Ferrari will have a good jump off the line. Ferrari is indeed going crazy. Up the inside, looks Hamilton not going to happen on the exit as they make their run down the front back straight here. Lewis Hamilton with that boost available. Side by side now, Esteban Ocon, he'll be late under brakes. Is he? Yes, he is. And he'll get the move done. And what probably was on the limit of locking up there. But Ocon, not a good start. Hamilton back up into position 3. What a start from the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. He's up into position 3, and he'll be chasing Franco Colapinto, who of course has not made a pit stop, so he's out of sequence in this field of cars. But whilst this is all happening, Antonelli is pulling away with the grip of Lewis Hamilton's hard compound tyres. He'll be looking up the inside, not going to happen. He's up the curb and looking for the move. Hamilton immediately has got more battery than what that Alpine does. Almost a full battery pack, and he will burn it. He will burn all the way down this front straight, and I think he'll look for a move down here into the hairpin. No, he doesn't, but he's very late under brakes as he hits the bottom part of the circuit into the hairpin. As he gets the power down, you can just see the wheel slide, the rear tyres sliding as he is on the edge of grip. As he makes his run through the fast left-hander, Lewis Hamilton. Watch out for this battle. Second and third, less than 2 tenths. Separate them up. The inside goes Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, I think the front.
Yeah, so Russell saying we've got no grip. Is that the same with Hamilton? Here, is that possibly the same with Hamilton? Hulkenberg making moves on what seems to be Pierre Gasly. Sorry, that's Behrman up the insides. Doesn't go for the move that time around. But good start from Hamilton. He's made nearly 4 or 5 positions off this restart and is up into position 2. And he's inside 1 second once more, which is critical. He will burn battery all the way down this front straight. Leclerc gets a position on Ocon and makes his way up into position 4. This is almost like lap traffic now for the Ferraris. But back on the point, up inside there goes, that's Arvid Lindblad on Ollie Behrman. Is that's Arvid Lindblad? Sorry, yeah, that is Arvid Lindblad on Ocon. Getting that move done there. So, sorry, Behrman on Lindblad. Stand corrected, my friend. Lindblad on Behrman, and he gets the move done. Jen in the chat says, go Mercedes. Mercedes currently leads out in front. Leclerc looking for a move there on Colapinto. Is he going to be able to get this move done? Gets the power down, and certainly does. More grip than what that Alpine had. Burned battery probably on the exit of turn 3. He's got the move done, but this is going to leave Leclerc very vulnerable to Colapinto. He doesn't get the move done. Russell back up the inside of the Haas of Ocon. But back on that point, whilst I've got the chance on Mercedes with their struggle on grip. You heard there just a few moments ago saying, struggling for grip. We've got no grip. We've got no grip. It seems like Ferrari have got all the grip at the moment, and they've, at this point, got the grip on this race. If they can get past, Hamilton can get past an Antonelli, this could be a defining moment for Ferrari's championship hunt. If I'm being completely honest with you. 40 laps to go, though, so anything can happen. We've already had a safety car in this race. If you're just joining us, and if you are enjoying the commentary of myself, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. It will very much help out. Even if you don't watch streams, it will very much help out a small content creator like myself. That is up the inside. Looks on Behrman and Lindblad. They're side by side. Once more, they go into the hairpin. Hulkenberg looking around the outside of Gasly. He's going to get the move done. No, he isn't. He's going to stick back in behind of the Alpine. Max Verstappen looking also for a move on Hulkenberg as well. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Back on board with Lewis Hamilton as he makes his run up through turn number 1. Of course, if you do have Sky Sports F1 or if you're in Australia, watch along with me as well. Get all your info as well that you would have. Watch along with me. Link the stream up with myself, and yeah, we can watch along together if you would like so. Yeah, even if it's on F1 TV as well, that is available. For 39 laps to go left in this one, Antonelli leads out in front by about 0.8 of a second. Gasly looking up inside of Lindblad into the bottom hairpin on the circuit. Kimi Antonelli, he leads out in front. It's about 0.7 of a second between the two. Hamilton, line astern, you can almost throw a blanket over these two at the moment. Hard on the brakes. Also, just keeping one eye on the Lindblad and Gasly battle as well. Now, just speaking strategy for a few moments here. It's going to be interesting to see how long these hard compound tyres can run. We did see a short stint from some of the drivers on the hards. I could probably only guess these hards could possibly get to about lap 35, 40. 40 would be stretching it, if I'm being completely honest with you. Gasly up the inside of Lindblad, gets the move done. Lindblad is dropping like an absolute stone at the moment. But yeah, Gasly moving his way up the grid. Alpine have got amazing pace at the moment. Absolutely amazing pace. At the moment, they're making their way through the grid. Colapinto P5 and Pierre Gasly in position 8. We've got a yellow flag out somewhere on the circuit. I wonder where that is. Up the inside goes Verstappen on Lindblad. Lindblad is dropping like a stone, and he's now on the verge of losing points at this point. Yellow flag is out. That is Fernando Alonso, who I think has stopped on the circuit. This could be a virtual or full course caution if anything happens with that Aston Martin. I think it does have a drama. That was always to be expected, to be completely honest with you, within this race. Are we going to go safety car? No, he's got the car moving, I think. It does seem like it was Fernando Alonso that could not get that car moving, because he has dropped to position 17. So down dead stone last, and he was position 14 before that.
He's struggling a bit.
So Hamilton asking Ferrari to give him more power through the battery pack here. And he's just not able to keep up with Antonelli, just showing the raw pace of that Mercedes in not only a straight line, but the the pure downforce that Mercedes has compared to the Ferrari. Andy, the bread lover, says, did you hear about the cancellation of the Middle Eastern races? Yes. It is quite unfortunate. Up the inside goes, I think that's Colapinto and Ocon, and both Hasses, well, one of them loses a spot, one of them makes a spot there as, I think that's Colapinto covering off a move on, that is Esteban Ocon, and Behrman also covering off a move on Gasly. So both Hasses battling for position. Colapinto, though, dropping like a stone on those old hard compound tyres. Round the outside, looks at Ocon. I think he might have better grip than what this Alpine does at the moment. Up the insides goes the Haas, backs out into turn 3. But yeah, I did hear about that Middle Eastern cancellation. Quite unfortunate. I feel like the Australian Grand Prix could have been an offer there. Ocon up the inside, Colapinto covers. Was that a bit of moving in the braking zone? Possibly. Up the inside goes, that is Max Verstappen, making his way through the grid on those fresh, hard compound tyres. Slowly but surely round the outside, looked Esteban Ocon out of the marbles. Not going to happen. Surely not. Colapinto is covering this like a man possessed. He certainly is. He's not letting this Haas car through. I think he knows that this Alpine is much quicker than both those Haas's. They've been consistently inside the 10. These Haas's have been almost struggling to be inside the 10, let alone battling for, you know, positions inside the top 5. Go Alpine, indeed, my friend, indeed. Alpine are absolutely cooking at the moment. P5, P8 on the grid, but Colapinto, you've got to think here, also does have to make a stop. And when will that stop happen? We did hear Steve say during that safety car, both Haas's now side by side into the hairpin. Bottom hairpin on the circuit. Ocon deep, locks up, side by side now. Alpine and Haas. Haas's will go side by side now. Ocon and Behrman into the final corner. That was deep. Who was that deep under brakes? I think that was Behrman. Deep under brakes. Looked for, well, not only his move on his teammate, but a move on Colapinto. Russell starting to apply pressure onto the back of Leclerc, but these two Haas cars are going nip and tuck at it. Meanwhile, the Max Verstappen is absolutely flying and making moves. He's squeezed to the outside Pierre Gasly. That is a typical Max Verstappen move. He absolutely just squeezed Pierre Gasly right to the outside of the circuit. That is a typical Max Verstappen move. There, let me tell you that much. Welcome in, Shino Buns, F1 fan. Welcome in. My friend, welcome in. That is a typical Max Verstappen move. Let me tell you that much. Wow, that's a typical Max Verstappen move. Completely squeezed Pierre Gasly off practically the road and had nowhere to go on the exit. But now, the next threat for Pierre Gasly will be Nico Hülkenberg. We've got Ollie Behrman closing up onto the back of Colapinto, so we'll keep an eye out on that battle for you. The graining is already starting to happen on George Russell's tyres, slightly happening on the left front. Of course, it is the most vulnerable tyre to wear around this circuit. Russell now closing up onto the back of Leclerc. Got to probably overtaking mode. Got inside of that overtaking range to the point where he probably could have sent it up the inside. Didn't decide to, though. Into the bottom hairpin. And that is up the inside there. Colapinto, Behrman, crisscross right round back around the outside. Back at ya, says Colapinto. And keeps the move done. And then stays P5. George Russell's twitching into turn number 1. He's struggling for rear grip. Not only front grip, but also rear grip. That is a big talking point in this race. Grip is going to be a big talking point. We did see a few drops of rain, actually, a bit early on in this race. How spicy would rain make this race? Looked for a lunge there just then. Russell on Leclerc. Not going to happen this time around. Into the bottom hairpin of turn 5. Behrman, I think, will also look for a move on Colapinto. Max Verstappen, though, he's flying out there and is secretly just making moves. He's made moves on Gasly, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Lindblad, Lawson, Sainz. All those cars he's made moves on, and he's up into position 7. At the moment, fastest sector 1 goes the way of George Russell, and that is evident because he's closing every single lap onto the back of Charles Leclerc. Closing, but using the tyres as well, using the battery. And you want to be saving that for when you're close enough to actually make an overtake. You don't want to be using too much of the battery too early on when you can, but, you don't want to use too much of it. George Russell up inside, and he says Max is going mad. he's not only going mad, but he's also making overtakes. He's absolutely flying at the moment, and his next target is Ollie Behrman. On the cards at the moment, his next target will be Ollie Behrman. Now, my point of George Russell using too much of his battery, that is true. He's got 0% left. Actually, both Ferrari and Mercedes have, well, Leclerc at the moment only has about 9% more battery than what Russell does, but it's going to play a big difference. And to Max's point in round one, it's almost like racing in Formula E. It's got Formula E tactics to it. It has that vibe to it in terms of the battery status, and how you really have to try and conserve the battery throughout the race. George Russell, though, continuing to slowly close up, but he's struggling for grip, and already those hard compound tyres falling off. Go Max Mads, indeed, my friend. That is true. This is the battle. Gasly Verstappen incident noted, turn 6 moving under braking. Yeah, that is probably evident, to be completely honest with you. So that's why, and I did mention that, Gasly, yeah, you can see that. That's evident.
Contact.
Yeah, that wasn't fair. Run me off the...
Yeah, there was
I'm
contact.
sorry, that wasn't fair.
Copy that, mate.
There was contact. There was contact, and Gasly's engineer has said over the radio, yeah, we've reported that. So it's both one-sided there. It's either one of them gets a penalty, and in that situation, Gasly would get a penalty for moving under braking. And that's why Max squeezed him off the road. So I reckon that's fair. If Gasly moved under braking, then, you know, that's fair. That's all fair, to be completely honest with you. That's why Max squeezed him off the road. And I was saying that, I take back the typical Max move, because it was probably needed. Gasly did physically move under braking. Studio Buns F1 fan says, George Russell, my GOAT. Well, yeah, that George Russell at the moment, he's actually, to be honest, struggling. He is struggling. He's struggling to keep up with his Ferrari, and it's the grip that is letting him down. I reckon these hards won't last another 17 laps. They will, at max, last another 10 laps, if I'm being completely honest with you. And no further investigation. There you go. Gasly Verstappen, turn 6, moving under braking. And to be honest, it's a return of serve in that situation. Gasly moved under braking, and Max just return of served it. So, that's fair, if I'm being completely honest with you. No further investigation. It was moving under braking, but Max just return served. There, so no further investigation for that incident between Max and Gasly. Bit of rear locking there from the from the Ferrari of Lewis Hamilton. We're riding on board the iCam of Lewis Hamilton. There is Lando Norris on the pit wall. Probably going to be disappointed with that. And both McLarens, not scoring points. Quite unfortunately there. George Russell, this lap has closed up. And actually, I've just noticed this. Leclerc, Hamilton, and Russell have all closed up onto the back of each other. Now, they can't be battling too much. Antonelli will continue to pull away. It's 2.1 seconds, the gap. Antonelli and Hamilton. Yeah, Antonelli has cleared out in front, and it's because George he can't overtake Leclerc. He cannot. It's the dirty air and the tyres that is affecting him at this point. And you've still got 32 laps to go. I reckon for most of these drivers. Lando Norris.
Obviously we can't race. Yeah, just frustrating. It's on the PU side, so the guys tried as hard as they could to get everything sorted or find some solution, but weren't able to. So yeah, disappointing. My first non-start in Formula One. So yeah, tough to take, but it's life sometimes.
When did you know about the issue? When did the team know?
I'm not sure exactly, but I'll probably say an hour or so before going out. I was just warming up and getting ready to go drive, and then found out about it, so I'm not sure more than that.
Just finally for me, have they identified it enough to know what to fix, or are they still going through the process?
No, I think not. I don't know yet. They know it's just an issue that they can't fix for now. They need to look further into knowing exactly what it is, why it's happened, and then the next step will be trying to figure out how to fix it.
That is disappointing there. But meanwhile, the two Ferraris have swapped positions, and Russell will look up the inside into the final corner there. It looked like it was going to happen, but it didn't. It didn't happen, but it was very close to doing so. Gasly round the outside of Esteban Ocon, meanwhile. Battle for position 8 and position 9. The two Ferraris side by side now. Turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? Leclerc, Hamilton with the squeeze to the outside of the road. The 7-time world champion giving Leclerc a bit of Ferrari treatment, possibly. There, Leclerc has had no... sorry, that was Leclerc giving Hamilton the treatment. Round the outside now goes Russell into the bottom hairpin. Leclerc giving Hamilton the treatment. Yeah, maybe that was for what happened in Australia last weekend. We did see the two Ferraris giving each other the squeeze, but I wouldn't think you'd want to give that sort of revenge back, if I'm being completely honest with you. Antonelli is cleared out in front here. He has absolutely cleared out in front. 4.1 seconds. Gap back to Leclerc. These three, though, they're battling like a horse is dying at this point. They're battling like it's for championship position. They're battling like it's bloody for the world championship at this point. It's absolutely insane. We have got a 2-week gap, though, if you're wondering. We've got a 2-week gap between this round, of course, the Chinese Grand Prix, and, of course, the Japanese Grand Prix. As well, 2-week gap between those rounds. And then, of course, we've got like a month break. It's practically our summer break here. Done. We've got 2 summer breaks now, ladies and gentlemen. We've got one between Japan and Miami. Now another between, I think it's Hungary. Oh, sideways for Charles Leclerc. And it's another one, I think, between Hungary and Zandvoort. If I'm not being corrected there. Correct me if I'm wrong for those people that are watching along with me. But yeah, Russell looked up the inside, turn 1. That move was kindly rejected by Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion. Much more experience, and immediately knowing that that move was always on, he had to cover that off. So, smart play from the 7-time world champion. Has covered off once more another move from the Merc of George Russell. We've got 30 laps to go. We've just about hit the halfway point of this race. And some of the teams now, you'd think, with these hard tyres, they actually don't look too bad. It's about the same amount of graining that we saw from about lap 19 onwards. So the tyres haven't really degraded as much as what I thought. And the two Alpines, Colapinto, must I say, and Ocon, have survived much longer than what I was expecting. So these hards could maybe go to the end of the race. They'd be awful, but they could possibly go to the end of the race here. Colapinto has survived 26 laps on those hards. Gasly has survived 10 laps on those hards at the moment. So that's the tyre graphs for you, ladies and gentlemen. Hamilton back up the inside on Leclerc. Will he give him the Leclerc treatment? No, he will not. Two Ferraris continue to scrap away. Another position change for Lewis Hamilton. He's back up into position 2 in this race. But Ferrari, if they're working together here, which it does seem like they're doing so. Hamilton and Leclerc, they're working together. And Russell's genuinely struggling here. Now, back to the outside goes Charles Leclerc. Back to the inside goes Charles Leclerc. And he's going to look for a move, and he's going to get the move done. Up the curb he goes. And a bit more battery, actually, in reserve for Charles Leclerc. Maybe a % or 2 more, which is going to be big in the late phase of this race. We've still got a long way to go, though. Still got a flipping heck of a long way up the inside. That was a big, big move from Lewis Hamilton. He fully sent it up the inside and immediately regretted it. Did the 7-time world champion. Back up the inside now into the fast left hand of turn 7 and flick it then into turn number 8. They're going to be round the outside, still holding it around the outside on the dirty side of the road. What a move. And what a battle between the two Ferraris. Back up the inside goes Leclerc. And they're going to be side by side on the exit at 8 as well. Indeed, they are, Andy the bread lover. Up the inside again goes Hamilton. He immediately regrets it. Ferrari are finally doing well, and they're finally bringing on some actual racing instead of shoving each other off the road. This has been amazing racing between the two Ferraris, and they're battling like it's a world championship is on the line. 6.7 seconds the margin. Antonelli to Leclerc. Russell looking for a move, and he gets the move done on Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton now will look for the move back on the outside. Not going to happen. Russell covers it off. Very nicely done. Hamilton now back up the rounds the outside. He looks not going to happen. Back up the inside. He's just looking for moves at this point. Russell, whilst these two were battling, has just grabbed Lewis Hamilton. So that's That's ideal for himself, and he's finally made a move. He hasn't made a move in about 14 laps after the safety car restart. So it's been a bit of null and void for George Russell. And the only move he's made is on Ollie Behrman. Max's progress has stopped, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Only up in a P6. Round goes one of the RBs. That is Arvid Lindblad. Has he made contact with another car out there? Oh, that is unfortunate. Arvid Lindblad around. That is really unfortunate for the Racing Bulls team. Arvid Lindblad around and will not be in contention for any points, I would think. And maybe he would box, possibly as well. This is what happened. Down the front straight. Bit of an issue inside the cockpit there. Wonder what that is. Arvid Lindblad, though. Under brakes. Front left locked up. Has he been touched? Oh, maybe. Maybe. Possibly. That is questionable, though. As to if he was touched by one of the Williams cars there. But Antonelli pulled out in front. 7.1 seconds now. The gap. We're now at the halfway point of the race. Once more, Russell looking around the outside of Leclerc. Is he going to get the move done? No, not into turn 14, but he'll get the switch back on the exit of the hairpin. He decides better of it and will not get the move done this time around. 27 laps to go. We've passed the halfway point of this race. 7.4 second margin. Antonelli to Leclerc. Ocon keeping an eye on this battle between him and Colapinto. Late under brakes into the hairpin. He'll go deep and he'll shove Gasly off the road. Sorry, that's Colapinto off the road. Almost. That might be questionable. And Colapinto might not be happy with that one. And in the process has lost 2 spots. Gasly has retaken the position on Ocon. And he's actually lost 2 spots in that process.
And they just passed in order of meters.
Yeah, again, as Crofty was about to say, it's really frustrating. They're just fast in all the right places. And that's something that Mercedes might be debriefing after this race here. Especially Russell, possibly. He might be debriefing that back at base. You've got 2 weeks now. You have time to go back to base and debrief that sort of stuff. Antonelli, though, using the rubber underneath him, using the battery a little bit, and is starting to pull away. Fastest first sector as we speak. So, not a bad start, if I'm being completely honest with you. On board with Ocon, on your left-hand side, there is Antonelli, 7.4 seconds out in front. To be honest, the only way he can be stopped is if there's a safety car. Back up the inside, George Russell, move done, and he's up into second spot. It's taken a while, it's taken nearly 20 laps, but he's back up in a second spot with his teammate. Now he can start to do work. And he's sideways on the exit of the final corner, and so is Lewis Hamilton. He's actually slowed on the last couple of laps, and he's nearly been dropped by a second on the last 2 or 3 laps here. So Hamilton's tyres maybe is starting to fall off, if I'm being completely honest with you. Mercedes look quick over 1 lap. Ferrari, as the race goes on, I said this at the start of the race, Ferrari didn't look quick at the start of the race. Now they're starting to show their form. Ocon is starting to drop down the field. He's in the pits. So Ocon into the pit lane. And finally, putting those hard compound tyres to rest. 30 laps in this race, those hard compound tyres have gone. Ocon in. Getting off those hards. What looks to be going on to another set of hard compound tyres. And it's a slow stop. Slow stop for the Haas of Esteban Ocon. That will be extremely annoying for Ocon. Won't be happy with that. He's actually gone onto a set of the medium tyres. Has Esteban Ocon there. That's interesting. Will those mediums last 26 laps? They struggled to last 19 laps. So, at this point, Haas are going to have to do some major tyre conserving if they want to get to the end of this race without those tyres falling off a cliff. They're going to have to do some major tyre conserving, if I'm being completely honest with you, if they actually really want to get to the end of this race. So, in terms of tyres, what we're looking at, Colapinto has done 29 laps on those hard compound tyres. Antonelli's done 20. Russell's done 20. Most of the field have done 20 laps on their hards. And they boxed about lap 11. I'm going to guess they'll be in within the next 10-15 laps to get off those hard tyres. And possibly go on to a set of the medium tyres for the rest of the race. Or if you do have an extra soft, maybe you go onto that as well. Which, if I'm being honest with you, most teams, you'd think, would not have an extra set of that soft tyre on board. It would be very unlikely to have an extra set of softs on board at this point in the weekend. You would have used all those softs in the qualifying session that these drivers got. So yeah, it'd be very unlikely you'd have an extra set of soft compound tyres at this point in the weekend. 25 laps to go though, and the race is starting to calm down. That was late on the brakes from Charles Leclerc there as he tried to close up onto the back of George Russell that time around. Kimi Antonelli is at the fastest second sector of the race. It's a 31.6. Both Mercs are absolutely flying. Russell's starting to pull a gap now, 0.7. And now that he's out in front, now he doesn't have dirty air, he's finally able to show off that pace. Bit of lock-up in the rear end of Charles Leclerc's car. He's finally starting to show the pace, and Ferrari are now starting to think. You can look at that. Starting to get a bit concerned. Now, Mercedes are starting to show off their true raw pace. 1 second. The gap is now. Russell with clear air is starting to pull away. Maybe Ferrari's race has started to fall off, if I'm being completely honest with you. Their race that they've had with Mercedes maybe is starting to fall off, if I'm being completely honest with you. And what this will do for most teams now is they'll start, during this 2-week break, even during the 1 month break that these teams will get, they'll now start to think about what they could do to make their team car quicker. Especially Ferrari, especially Red Bull, especially McLaren. The reliability at the moment of McLaren is up to crap. In terms of McLaren in general, come into the season possibly with the wrong mindset. If I'm being completely honest with you, maybe have come into the season with the wrong mindset to run into the season, maybe with the wrong mindset. Even after they won a constructors championship. Lando won the drivers championship. They were 1 and 3 in the drivers. Have they come into this season thinking they were going to be quicker? Is that what Zach Brown had on his mind? Possibly.
Plan C could come into play. The Ferrari filing cabinet of Strat. C.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, now is about the time that the medium tyre will do the rest of the race. So it's going to be a stretch for Ocon, who was first in, but now Alonso's in, expecting to see Lindblad, who can't wait to get off these tyres. They are pretty worn out on his racing bulls. But otherwise, yeah, Kimi Antonelli continuing at the front. George Russell starting to nibble into his lead, Crofty. Mr. Patient, Mr. Russell, might have to be a bit more patient as he tries to hunt down his young teammate.
Just on this lap alone, he's caught by nearly 3/10, Ted. So he's starting to close in a little bit more on the halfway point of this race. 1:35.9. He's flying now. He's absolutely flying. Colapinto in and is putting those hard compound tyres finally to rest. Finally, those hard compound tyres are coming to rest on that Alpine, along with, I'm going to guess, Arvid Lindblad as well, who will be early to box. I think that's what Alpine would have been thinking with that safety car. Maybe try and stretch it to the medium tyre window and see if you can try and get to that medium tyre window. If you can't, oh well. If you can, then that's amazing. And you could be in for a shot in this race. Yellow flag out. Is that... Oh, contact with one of the Haas cars. And who is that around? Ocon. Ocon has made contact with, I think it was, one of the Alpines coming out of the pit lane. Was that Colapinto coming out of the pit lane? And has he made contact with Esteban Ocon? That would be my guess. That would be my guess. Has Colapinto made contact with Esteban Ocon? Look at this. I think my correction might be... I think I might stand correct here. Colapinto out of the pit lane. Ocon into turn 1. Has he gone deep under brakes? Or has he just locked up? Oh, deep under brakes. Hot. Oh, that was big contact. Big contact. Colapinto around. And it wasn't even the fact that he was late on the brakes. It was the fact that he carried a bit too much speed. The rear end got lost on him. Wow. The rear end, he just lost the rear end. That is so strange. Up inside, bang. There's the contact. And that might be race ending for someone like Colapinto, who was in such a good position in this race. Ocon, front wing, the mirror on that car has been absolutely destroyed into bits. Ocon, Colapinto incident noted, turn 2. So we'll see what the FIA think of that. We'll see what the FIA stewards think of that in that situation. Ocon says, yeah, that was my fault. So there you go. He's still in front, but it seemed as if he'd run a bit too hot into the corner. Fernando Alonso retiring the car again. Aston Martin, I think they came into this season after testing, after everything that's happened. They came into this season. The first half of the season will be difficult for Aston Martin. Hopefully they can somewhat turn around in the second half of this season, with both Bahrain and Saudi Arabia being cancelled already. There might be the chance that can stay ahead. If I'm being completely honest with you, that could stay ahead. So let's head up to Sky Sports F1 for a lap or two. See what their opinions are within the last 21 laps of this race.
But there is still a long way to go in this race.
Yeah, Russell was caught in by 4/10 over the last 2 laps. So Antonelli doing a great job out in front. Obviously, it's the best case scenario when you've got a clear track in front, no one to pressure you from behind. You can drive how you want to drive. I've already talked about driving to the system of the car. What's Hamilton got to say here?
Have no power. Give me something. Don't be usable. I come out of the last corner, I've got no power. Negative, we are looking into that.
Lewis has been saying this constantly through this race, that he's got no power and I need to have more power. He's about 0.8 of a second behind his teammate who was at the end of the last lap. That's another lock-up there from Charles Leclerc, who's got even wider this time around. And whilst he might have power issues, Lewis Hamilton, his teammate has just handed third place back to him.
But if he does lack power, Hamilton, on the exit of this corner, this is what he talked about. Does that give Leclerc the opportunity to have another go around the outside, potentially into turn 1? He's thinking about it. He's going to try it.
Well, he is going to try it. The crowd roaring the two Ferraris around here. They're almost side by side. Hamilton, with that inside line, manages to keep ahead. There's your battery level. By the graphics, Hamilton's got just a smidge more power at his disposal, and he is using it to very good effect to stay ahead.
Yeah, the two Ferraris, as you'd expect as well, between the two of them, very evenly matched. And Hamilton was just sitting there lurking in the background with Charles, complaining obviously about his deployment strategy, and the team are working on that to try and optimise things further. But that is not what Charles Leclerc or Ferrari needed to his race performance. So I was just starting to question, what do you do here if you're Ferrari? With their strategy, they've floated the idea of a two-stop strategy. They're, as I read into that, their plan C, their menu of options of strategy.
Yeah, well, you know, I trot off to have a little chat with a few people in the...
So, Nico Hülkenberg now into the pit lane. Possibly getting off those hard compound tyres, throwing on a set of the medium tyres as well. Colapinto and Ocon are under investigation as we look at this battle between the two Ferraris. This is between Leclerc and Hamilton. Leclerc quite late under brakes into the hairpin. Leclerc, look at the limited battery he has in this race. Very, very limited, if I do say so myself. Hamilton, Leclerc now. 18 laps to go. The two Ferraris squabbling for position between third and fourth. Yeah, this in terms of strategy, this race is playing out. Ocon 10-second time penalty. In this one, 10-second time penalty for Esteban Ocon for a collision with Franco Colapinto. And of course he did own up to that over the radio, saying that is my fault. So he's faulted to that. Now, if I reckon what Mercedes are doing here, I reckon probably what most teams are doing at this point, they're starting to make inroads to try and go to maybe lap 40, lap 45, and maybe try soft for the rest of this race. It would be risky, but I feel like the hards are lasting long enough to get them to the end. I have a feeling that might be what's happening here, possibly for the last 10-15 laps of this race. Lewis Hamilton sitting in third position, 6/10 to the gap. Up the curb goes Charles Leclerc. In position 5 there is Ollie Behrman, 20 seconds off the back of these two Ferraris. Look at the battery difference. It's absolutely draining the battery. Down straight. Hamilton using a bit of a boost down front straight. As now he will head into turn 1 and turn 2. These Ferraris sit line of stern. You could almost throw a blanket over them. That is how close that is at the moment. 18 laps to go left in this one. If you are enjoying the stream though, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. With just under 18 laps to go, both Ferraris sit line astern. This race has started to calm down quite a bit now, but once that pit stop window starts to come into play, it'll get a little bit more interesting in terms of strategy here. But yeah, only one safety car, and it's been about 27 laps since we've seen that safety car make its appearance. But yeah, thank you for the 2 likes on the stream. But yeah, if you are enjoying though, hit that like button, subscribe. Very much help. This race is very much calmed down. Kimi Antonelli, he leads out in front, 6.9 seconds to the gap of George Russell. Just over 18 laps to go. This is Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc now into the braking zone of the hairpin. This battle continuing to rage on. Kimi Antonelli is just at the fastest lap of the race that time around. It's a 1:35.5. The times are continuing to drop here as the track continues to evolve throughout this race. Times are only continuing to drop, and I think that'll stay that way throughout the rest of this race. Times will continue to get quicker as well. 17 laps to go. I said this before, but look at the margin Russell has. It's 8 seconds now to the gap of Lewis Hamilton. With these two Ferraris battling, it's extended that margin, more or less. It's extended it quite a lot. It's nearly 10 seconds now. Nearly 10 seconds. You can see the battery usage of Lewis Hamilton having to now just go into that conservation mode. Fine, possibly sitting in behind his teammate, but there will start to become a point where pit stop war will start to unfold here, and both the Ferraris will be battling for right in the pit lane. Leclerc has already lost that position. Ferrari starting to already set up what would be a set of the medium compound tyres. Maybe the soft compound tyres could be going on to that car as well. Leclerc now closing up on the front back straight now. Down the inside, and that will be move done. Would that be Ferrari orders? Possibly for the pit stop in terms of pit stop times there, but Leclerc moves himself up into position 3. 10 seconds now, the gap. Russell to Leclerc, and it's starting to spread out. I think Leclerc has a little bit more pace. Hamilton back up inside. They're going to be side by side now on the exit of turn 1. And they'll continue to go side by side into turn 2. And Leclerc has backed out of that one, knowing that maybe Hamilton also has a bit more pace, unless these two are just genuinely squabbling for position with just over 16 laps to go left in this one. Leclerc, again, will go lead under brakes. Can he get the move done? No, he cannot. Not around the outside, especially on the marbles, which is, of course, the discarded rubber from these tyres, especially through this fast turn 6, turn 7 area. Hadjar in a scrap with Lawson for position 8 and position 9 at the moment. But both Ferraris, within the last couple of laps, have saved quite a chunk of battery. Both Ferraris now making their run through turn 11 and turn 12. Time to head up to Sky Sports F1.
What do we got here? Hamilton with the overtake at his disposal. Just more energy, because going through the detection point on this lap, he would have been behind Charles Leclerc, so that overtake remains with him for the whole of the lap. So that helps him in defence, not necessarily overtake, because the nearest car to Lewis Hamilton is, around about 10 seconds ahead.
And it will be Charles Leclerc that gets that overtake mode active just now, because he's within that second. Meanwhile, Russell has been gradually closing in on Kimi Antonelli. It was, looked at it at the time. When he got past the last row, so Leclerc, it was 7.8 seconds. It's now down to 6.3.
Yeah, he was chipping away 2/10 a lap. He took half a second out the last lap, but I think Antonelli has had to get past both Perez and Bottas, who have the blue flags being waved at them. Ted Kravitz.
Hello, Crofty. You mentioned the Ferrari mechanics looking at some tyres. No sign of any of that. They're just thinking, if there is a safety car, you never know what might happen. Everything needs to be ready. Just to underline how much this means to Hamilton, this P3, Crofty. Of course, he had the China Sprint win last year. He had a podium as well, but they were disqualified from that, weren't they? And then since then, no Ferrari podium still for Hamilton. So that's what it means for him to hang on to this P3. His tyres are starting to open up with the graining. He is reporting understeer, so we'll see how that one goes. As for Arvid Lindblad,
2 seconds then.
Oh,
well done, Charles.
I'm glad. A bit more positive than this time yesterday.
Yeah, quite. Back to you.
So it might be a case of last lap Lindblad, because he's still on the same set of hard tyres. They're going for a massive tyre offset to Carlos Sainz ahead of them. A safety car period with a cheaper pit stop would be nice, but I think they're preparing at Racing Bulls to bring Lindblad in, and then it's going to be a big charge to try and nick that final point of Carlos Sainz's Williams.
Yeah, that would be it. It's risky. It is very risky to do that at this point in the race. If there's a safety car, then that would just absolutely shaft Lindblad. If, of course, he boxed within the next 2 or 3 laps. We've seen that. We've seen that quite a lot in this race here. Today, safety cars have shafted practically everyone at any sort of stage in this race. We've seen it shaft the Ferraris, the Mercedes. To be honest, both of them have been shafted at one point, except Kimi Antonelli. And Kimi, at this point, is on target to win this race. Just one more pit stop is to come. Yeah, George Russell actually is closing up on a bit of flat traffic. I think that is Bottas. Hamilton saying, keep the gap if you can. You are doing a very good job. That is Hamilton's engineer over the radio. And some lap traffic now are coming into play for George Russell. He's able to get past that lap traffic with ease. And it's both Cadillacs that are battling for, effectively, last place in this race. Alonso, Stroll, Piastri, Norris, Bortoleto, and Albon are out of this race. Bortoleto didn't even start. Albon didn't even start this race either, so it's unfortunate. Of course, nor did Piastri or Norris either. So, again, a pointless scoring weekend for Oscar Piastri, and I said it at the top of the stream. Pointless scoring. 2 weekends in a row. It has to come to a point where it gets annoying, and Japan is really last opportunity for about a month.
Mate, this traffic is so bad. Yeah, copy.
So Antonelli there saying traffic is awful. And the next lot of traffic he's actually coming up under the back to is this Audi of Nico Hülkenberg, and then it will be Esteban Ocon. So this is going to hurt Kimi Antonelli in terms of the gap that he's built, which is nearly 7 seconds, must I say. Nearly built 7 seconds of a margin. And he's now starting to approach to the back of Nico Hülkenberg up to this point in the race. So it's starting to spice up just a little bit. And this could shaft Kimi Antonelli in terms of trying to get by them. And he will be burning a little bit of battery to do so. To the inside now, where all the junk and all the rubber is on the outside of the circuit. It's now going to start to get a bit more dangerous, to be completely honest with you. You can see the discarded rubber off there into the inside of the circuit down there. If you're going to make a move, you're going to be picking up all that rubber on the outside of the circuit down there, and it will be very, very risky indeed. Arvid Lindblad into the box, onto the medium compound tyres. Ted?
Bounded to pole yesterday, youngest Grand Prix.
So yeah, no Ted Kravitz there, quite unfortunately. But yeah, Lindblad makes his way out onto the track and will be now a lap down. But he's going to have a fiery Sergio Perez on the back of him for the next lap or two, whilst those hard compound tyres while those medium compound tyres build up a little bit more. Of course, Lindblad is hoping to undercut the Carlos Sainz to get, more or less, undercut to try and get the last scoring points in this race of position 10. His teammate, though, is already scoring points in position 8, but he has to hold off a fiery Red Bull of Isaac Hadjar. Would like to go one better in this race in terms of scoring. In terms of scoring points, he would like to. So we'll see if Arvid Lindblad if Isaac Hadjar can hold that off. 12 laps to go, though. Are Mercedes possibly wondering a one-stop is possible? I reckon a one-stop at this point in the race is possible. The margin has gone nil and void for about a lap or two between the two Mercs. It stayed about 7.4 seconds for the last couple of laps. Meanwhile, we've got a battle for 6th and 7th position. I reckon, according to this, the margin is dropping between Gasly and Max, and it's saying, and in 5 laps' time, Gasly will catch Max, or unless it's the opposite way. Andy, the bread lover, says Oscar has had a hard time in the past 2 Grand Prix. Yes, he has, and the poor Australian fans out at Australia went all nip and tuck to try and get all the merch, and unfortunately had no Australian to cheer for in that race. It was really unfortunate. And to be honest, it's been unfortunate for the whole year for McLaren. They've been struggling in terms of reliability. We saw in free practice 1 in Australia. They struggled with reliability with Lando Norris. Something was wrong with that car. It seemed to clear itself out, but I think it's come back to bite them here in China. Possibly. We did hear in that interview that it was something wrong with the rear end of that car. It's just not responding. I think it's questionable with Piastri as to what's happened with that car as well. 7.7 seconds. 7.6 seconds now the gap is. He's only closed by a 10th on this lap as George Russell. Kimi is consistently making pace. Off the road goes one of the Cadillacs. Just slightly, I think he got up the curb a little bit, and that's given Hamilton that chance to get by quite nicely there. But yeah, Kimi Antonelli has stolen the lead back. Max Verstappen is slow. Max is slow. Max is retiring. Oh, you're kidding. Max has retired the car. And he's going to have to find a safe place to retire this thing. What is happening with Max Verstappen's car? There is the team principal. Max out of the Australian Grand Prix. What has happened?
Facility in Milton Keynes, but they had an issue with the power units in Australia that caused Isaac Hadjar to retire, and it could be a power unit issue from Max Verstappen here. Could be a battery issue, it could be hydraulics, we don't know, but it's certainly another mechanical issue for Max Verstappen.
And there'll be many drivers and teams hoping that he can, in fact, make it back down pit road, because if there's a late safety car here, you're going to see frantic action with everyone having to come in with 10 laps to go. It looks like he does have enough momentum and power just about to get back into the pits.
There's your race leader, Kimi Antonelli.
He's come around to lap him. Why has my internet just crashed? Are you kidding me? Right now. Right now it crashes. Are you actually kidding me? Right now. Out of all the times. Out of all the times. It could have crashed. It could have crashed in 30 minutes time. Very, 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 very good. Is my lifetime even updating? Can I even look at the lifetime? Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. Yeah, very good. We love to see it. We love to see a very, very, very... Oh, yay, 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 yay. Go away. Thank you. Out of all the times it decides to just die, it's right now. It's right now. It decides to die. That's helpful. That's lovely. That is absolutely lovely jubbly. Oh, sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. My internet has decided to go boom and die. So that's why, and not even my live timing is responding with me. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. This is just exactly what I needed. This is just exactly what I needed. Oh, good lord. Try again, please. It better come back up. It actually better come back up. I'm gonna cry. Oh, I'm so flipping annoyed. Is there any need for it to go down? Oh my god. Not even my live timing. Please. Please. Just. Even my live timing's broken. Oh my god. What an annoyance this is. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. This is just spectacular. This is all what we've come here for. To see my internet crash like a dying bunny on the side of the road. This is just amazing. This is just absolutely disgusting. It better come back up. It actually better come back up. I'm gonna cry. There is nothing wrong with the... Oh, thank you. It's come back up, ladies and gentlemen.
In 6 laps. I am expecting a landslide today, but...
There you go. The internet is back. We're fine. 7 to go. Running on board here with Ollie Bem. We do have the driver of the day vote closing. The sun is going down. I'm trying to get as much light in here as humanly possible. Flippin' heck. The light... What? Oh my god. KO just crashed. Nothing in the world right now is working for me. Nothing. The world is not on my side. The world is not on my side. There we go. Okay, there we go. Live timing's back. There we go. 9.3 seconds that time around. Kimi Antonelli has pulled a gap. I think he might be able to go to the end on these hard compound tyres. At least I think that's what Mercedes are hoping they can do. 38 laps on these hards. It's been an absolute stint for Kimi. 6 to go left in the Grand Prix, and I think George has given up on trying to catch Kimi at any point in this race. I think that hope and dream is complete for George Russell. Has got nothing left in the tank in terms of pace, must I say. 9.4 seconds that time around. George is absolutely pushing. No doubt about it right now. 6 laps to go left in this one. Laps are just continuously counting down for Kimi Antonelli to grab. I think this might be his first Formula 1 victory in his career. So that would be insane. And he would go back-to-back here in Shanghai to score maximum points as well. 33 points throughout the weekend is Peter Bonington, the senior race engineer of Kimi Antonelli. It would be amazing to see Kimi Antonelli go back-to-back in race victories. And he's got 6 laps to do so. 6 laps to go back-to-back in this one. George Russell saying my rear tyres are dead. I can actually see a bit of graining. So there is every doubt in the world that his tyres are definitely dying. Yeah, you can definitely see graining on the front tyres as well. So, yeah, riding on board now with Kimi Antonelli down the front straight. This race has calmed down quite a lot after that safety car. Colapinto has gone right down, and now his next target for Kimi Antonelli will be Carlos Sainz. So this Mercedes has got a whole crap ton of pace, and it is burning it like a dead horse alive. At this point, here is Pierre Gasly, sitting in 6th position and about a minute off the lead of the Grand Prix. And about to lap the Cadillac of Sergio Perez as well. Esteban Ocon, by the way, has gone on to a brand new set of the soft tyre. Vote of the driver, vote driver of the day. That vote closes in approximately 4 laps' time. To be honest, my driver of the day, my driver of the day, will be Kimi Antonelli if he wins this race. To go back-to-back, if there was a driver of the weekend, it would be Kimi Antonelli. To go back-to-back, to practically be dominant through sprint qualifying, dominant through sprint. Practice did not go the way of Kimi. It was George Russell. It was George Russell who topped free practice, and then sprint qualifying went the way of Russell. Sprints went the way of Kimi. Qualifying went the way of Kimi. And this race might go the way of Kimi. So, nobody else has been able to touch Mercedes this year, so far this year. And I think that point is about to be proved in about 4 laps' time.
It's stayed 4/10 faster. The gap now at 9 seconds. I mean, George Russell is a fine driver. He has got a big margin to make up. If the tyres are going off, you know, it will keep Kimi Antonelli and Pete Bonington, you know, on the edge of their seats.
Oh, I see what you did there. He did have the advantage over me, Kimi, of seeing the fight happen behind him with the 2 Ferraris and his teammate Russell, and at that point he could just drive to the tyre. He didn't overstress it, overslide it, and the last time we rode on board with him, at least I could see that he was just driving the car as much on rails as he possibly could, not oversliding, which, to be fair, he is often guilty of. So he's learning, he's adapting the whole time, and this is a very important, it's a valuable day for Kimi Antonelli today. He would have learned more in this race than maybe he did half the season last year in his own ability, and that confidence you get from having put together a race like this today goes such a long way.
Certainly does. Maybe lapping Colapinto and Sainz might have slowed him down a bit. There's no sign of Antonelli slowing down, and George Russell making inroads into his advantage on this lap. Another lock up there from Charles Leclerc. He has put some punishment over the 41 laps through those tyres.
Yeah, I think he has punished him too much. He really enjoyed, he said his own word, he really enjoyed the fight, not just with George but his own teammate as well, and now sits 3.8 seconds behind Hamilton, and that might be a result of that extra tyre wear that he's got. I picked up the fact he had more. His tyres looked a little bit unhappy earlier on, and there's nothing he can do at this stage. Hamilton, he's driven the better race in terms of that A to B stint you had to do on this long stint on the hard tyres. So he was, as always with Lewis, thinking more about the long game, and he knows better than most out there, better than anyone, how to get the best out of his tyres in that stage. So yeah, Leclerc gave it a good go, and they committed to that one stopper.
6 wins for Lewis Hamilton here in Shanghai. Go back to 2013 for the last time he finished 3rd here. He is on course for a 10th podium finish here in Shanghai. That's a circuit record. No other driver has done 10. This could be one of the most special podiums of his 203 podium career. The first for Ferrari, signed for Ferrari, wanting to lead the Scuderia to good times and better times in the future. This is going to mean so much, and that is Kimi Antonelli.
No!
Gone off at the hairpin. So Kimi Antonelli with a 9.5 second lead.
That's going to drop.
Seemingly comfortable out in front, has had a lock-up, has managed to keep
2
going,
seconds.
and that gap
Dropped.
now will come down even more to about 7.5 seconds. He doesn't want to do that again. 3 laps to go.
See what happened here then. So
He just locked up.
We've already seen a massive lock-up from Leclerc, as we know things get tricky, and it's as easy as that. The crowd, you can hear in the background, in disbelief as they see the race leader go off the circuit. Leclerc did it the lap before, and this is
going to be a flat spot on that hard tyre.
Drivers, keep your heads together. Kimi Antonelli, that 9-second lead now down to 7.4.
Okay, give it 3 laps remaining, so let's just get this thing home.
And that's where I love this relationship between the multiple championship and race-winning engineer Peter Bonington and this young protege he has. Such raw talent, but obviously he comes with some excitement at points, and that's Kimi needs someone like Bono right now.
He's as deadpan as they come in this situation as Bono, and that, you're right, that's exactly what you need. Charles Leclerc is also having lock-up incidents as well. He's been told just calm, ease. Antonelli could ease off by about 1.5 seconds a lap here and still win this quite comfortably. But it's when you start easing off, other problems arise as a result. But he's much more cautious in the turn 14 this time around.
And this is where a more experienced driver probably would know just to win, say like Alain Prost style, where you just have to win the race. You don't have to keep pulling away from your rivals the entire time and really prove a point. Senna was guilty of it in Monaco that day, as famously crashed before the tunnel, wanting to prove that point. And racing drivers are sensitive souls, and they want the ego, they want to flatter that and at all times be faster than their competition. But that's Bono just saying, you've done a brilliant job, bring it home, no heroics.
Meanwhile, there is a battle going on for 9th place out here. Kimi Antonelli's got to bring it home. He's got a lap and a half to go, just over 5 miles. Colapinto is chasing down Carlos Sainz. A little bit further behind. Sainz is really starting to struggle. 44 laps on those tyres, 21 laps on the medium for Franco Colapinto. That's going right to the line. Hamilton is a 3.5 second gap back to Charles Leclerc as he hunts down his first podium for Ferrari. Ollie Behrman, who finished 7th in the opening Grand Prix of the season, is on to finish 5th for Haas here, where they finished last year with Esteban Ocon. Pierre Gasly picking up 8 points currently for Alpine. In 6th place, Liam Lawson. Another decent weekend for the Racing Bulls. Holding off Isaac Hadjar, he's in 7th. Hadjar and the one remaining Red Bull is 8th. Sainz ahead of Colapinto. Hulkenberg a bit too far back to get involved on that. Charles Leclerc has now just put in the fastest first sector. Where does that come from on this latest lap? And Kimi Antonelli is about to start his final lap of this Chinese Grand Prix. A Chinese Grand Prix where...
This is going to be special for Kimi Antonelli. He won't be thinking of it. It's the final lap of the Chinese Grand Prix. The sprint all went his way. Qualifying all went his way. And this race, it hasn't all gone his way. It's been close to it, though. 56 laps complete. There's Marco Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli's father will be very, very astonished, and he's licking his lips. He knows that this is close. It's literally, he's got about 4 kilometers of circuit to go, does Kimi Antonelli. 7 seconds to get back to George Russell. That lockup would have hurt Kimi's left front tyre, but to be completely honest with you, he's held these tyres for 45 laps, and if I'm being completely honest with you, these hards lasted much longer than what I was expecting them to. I thought they would have dropped off nearly 10 laps ago, and they would have been crap by this point of the race, but the hards have gone a hell of a long way in this race. Some drivers deciding to get off the hards. It's been a punishing weekend for the Pirelli hard, medium, and soft compound tyres. But this man has just not been punished. He lays down some rubber behind him. Because for the final time this weekend, Kimi Antonelli, after 56 laps, will win the Chinese Grand Prix. Kimi Antonelli wins. What a race.
For the young man who at the age of 19 and 202 days is on top of the world right here. And Toto Wolff celebrating with his dad in the garage. George Russell comes home. It's a Mercedes 1-2 and stands Hamilton, who will stand on the podium as a Ferrari driver for the first time. Third place here in Shanghai. 10th podium at this circuit on Mother's Day. His mom is here to see Lewis on the podium for the first time with the scooter here. Charles Leclerc comes home in 4th place. Ollie Behrman is a long, long way behind, but ahead of Pierre Gasly, and will very much take that 5th place, and a brilliant job by him today as well.
Yes, Kimi. Come on, my son. Yes! Yes, man! We did it, man! Well done there, mate. First race win. This is one you're going to remember forever, man.
Nice words from Bono there, and what a drive it has been from Kimi Antonelli. Not easy, you know, he's had to fend off a 7-time world champion, hot on his heels at the start of the race, and the threat from Ferrari at the start. He got that race start that he wanted. A brilliant day.
So behind Behrman, Gasly 6th, Lawson 7th, Hadjar 8th, and that battle for 9th is still going on. Colapinto's going wheel to wheel down the back straight with Carlos Sainz. Driver of the day is Kimi Antonelli. Franco Colapinto hasn't been in the points since Baku in 2024. He's not scored points for Alpine. He's going to get a point today, or will it be 2? Because that is still carrying on. No, he's...
Good racing up there today.
Fair order, team. Well done, Kimi.
They were both laps, and the graphic didn't say the checkered flag, so I thought they were still racing.
Now, well done, Lewis. Sorry the race, clear as mud, as we wanted. Thank you.
Fantastic job. Fantastic job, guys. Really well done. Really cool for the hard work. We're going to keep up. Keep pushing. Back at Maranello, we've got work to do, but I believe in you. Let's keep pushing. Was it Ferrari?
Thank you.
That was smart indeed.
Yes.
It was one of his finer races, I think. And you know what's on Lewis Hamilton's side this year, Crofty? He's got his qualifying performance back.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. You made me achieve one of my dreams. Thank you.
And he's allowed to come and park his Mercedes on the grid here. Sainz holds off Colapinto, then they finished a lap down when Kimi crossed the line. Hulkenberg just missing out on the points ahead of Lindblad, Bottas, Ocon, Perez, and we lost Verstappen, Alonso, Stroll, Piastri, Norris, Bortoletto and Albon from this race. Kimi Antonelli is shaking his head, maybe in stunned disbelief, trying to take it all in.
I love the fact he's got Lewis Hamilton just off to his left-hand side as well. The man that's been there, seen it, and done it all in the world of Formula One. And I think you know there'll be an appreciation on both sides there.
There it is. That's the moment. We wondered, was he going to get a good start? He got a decent start today. The Ferraris came at him, and he had to bide his time a little bit. And now he can celebrate with his crew.
He's such a likeable character as well, and there's just a little glimpse into that character on the exit of turn 14 property, where he lit the wheels up on the final lap. Yeah, he's loved by the team, and you can see why. Full of energy. He's brought this huge amount of energy to the team.
There's his dad, has a racing team. The racer himself has his own racing team. Kimi famously memorises lap times, doesn't he? And his lap times, I dare say he's got another 56 to try and remember for today. But this is superb. And Toto Wolff could have brought him, when Lewis Hamilton left, could have brought him to the Mercedes stable, a more experienced driver that could have got wins straight away. But no, I've got faith in this man. I've got faith in Antonelli. He is a superstar of the future.
Spotted in go-karts, could see the talent there, and many people would testify to that. And there's a good embrace between the teammates. And they've got a long championship fight probably ahead of them this year. But the competition, Ferrari, they're the closest at the moment, and they're not that far away. As George was saying earlier on the Reddit, they're fast in all the wrong places. But if they can be fast, for Mercedes, if they can be fast in the right places too, for their sake, they're right there.
Yeah, McLaren have got work to do. Electrical issues today, and different electrical issues meant that Norris and Piastri couldn't start this race. And look at that, Lewis is over to give big hugs, not just to Kimi Antonelli, but his old mate Bono as well. And I think he'll enjoy even more the fact that he can share a podium with Kimi and with Bono. And his first time there, and Lewis's first time for Ferrari.
I wonder who will spray him the hardest with the champagne coffee.
Well, Lewis gets a well done from Toto Wolff there as well. It's 26th Grand Prix for the team, and Lewis gets that third place. Charles Leclerc still hasn't finished on the podium at a Chinese Grand Prix, by the way. This today, he went past Kimi Raikkonen for the second most starts in Ferrari history.
And this man, Ollie Behrman.
Well, that's a man that I think will get a few starts for Ferrari in the future as well. That is another really mature drive from Ollie Behrman today.
It really was. I loved watching him race. He's been fast all weekend. He was in Melbourne as well. And I think the future is very bright for that young lad.
Certainly is. Sold out capacity crowds here in Shanghai, 10,000 more than we had here last year.
Top speed of the race.
354
kilometers an hour.
219 of your miles an hour, and that sounds enough to me.
That was that overtake mode in full effect that we were talking about before.
David Coulthard has the mic in his hand, has two Mercedes drivers with him.
Kimi Antonelli, congratulations on your first Grand Prix victory.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm speechless. I'm about to cry, to be honest, but yeah, I mean, thank you so much to my team, because yeah, they helped me to achieve this dream.
Wow.
You're the first Italian to win for 20 years, so a hugely significant moment for your country as well.
Yeah, I'm super happy. I said yesterday that you know, I really wanted to bring Italy back on top, and we did today. Even though I gave myself a little bit of a heart attack towards the end with the flat spot, but yeah, it was good race. Was good race.
And what was incredible was how mature you had to fight hard with George into the first corner, giving up position to the Ferraris, but that decision there won you this big lead towards the end and ultimately the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, was not an easy start, and yeah, probably I covered a bit too much on the inside and gave too much room to the Ferrari, but yeah, at the end the pace was good, and we managed to bring it home.
I'm going to come back to you, so stay there. George, well, it was a busy one for you. You had the two dueling Ferraris to deal with. It looked to me like you had to take a bit more out of your tyres when you were in that battle. But first of all, your thoughts on Kimi's first victory. You remember getting yours and then get into your Grand Prix.
Yeah, firstly, huge congratulations to Kimi, because it's always very special to win your first race, and obviously he's been driving really amazing this year and this weekend especially. So yeah, pleased to be standing on the podium with him and also with this guy as well. So it was a tough battle. Obviously we both had really bad starts again, and the Ferraris shot past, but at the end of the day, getting the 1-2 again is all we can ask for.
Okay, George, thank you. And well, Lewis, I never thought I'd be saying welcome back to the podium. Last year was a bit uncomfortable at times, other than the sprint victory, but the first two races of this season have shown the fight is there. It was wheel-to-wheel stuff with your teammate, and he came on the radio and said he was enjoying the battle. How was it for you?
Well, firstly, I have to say huge congratulations to Kimi. I'm so happy for you, buddy, and I'm so honoured to be able to share this moment with him. You know, he took my seat, obviously, this great team, so big congratulations to Mercedes.
I have a thing.
They're really pulling ahead at the moment. We've got a
What do you mean?
to try and keep up, but I had so much fun. We had a great start.
Do you mean like the result?
Keep these guys behind, but to stay in the fight. There's one of the most enjoyable races that I've had in a long time, if ever. The fact that the cars are the way they are this year, and that battle with Charles at the end was awesome. Great wheel-to-wheel battle, very fair.
Kimi won.
That's what we want. We got to keep pushing.
George Russell came second. Hamilton came third. This is the most people I've
ever seen here in Shanghai. So, xie.
They loved it, they love you. There was moments when you were battling with your teammate where we were standing back in the commentary box because we thought, how can you guys not end up touching? That was real racing.
I think there was one moment we did touch, but it was subtle. Just a kiss, so it's okay. But you know, this is what it's about. It's about tough racing. And I've got to say a huge thank you to everyone at Ferrari, everyone back at Maranello for getting us into this position. I know it's not
Kimi
exactly
won his first race.
We want to be
I'm
up front,
happy
but
for
these
him,
guys are. But we've got a great platform to work off, and we just got to literally full gas. So grazie tutti to everyone back home.
Thank you, Lewis. Enjoy that podium. Kimi, coming back to you. You've had time to reflect on your first victory now, so has it sunk in? What does this mean now for the dreams of a championship campaign with George?
Yeah, I mean, we're just at the beginning. We're gonna keep pushing. You know, George is an incredible driver.
Max 16th,
you know, he's very
Oscar
strong
19th.
So it's gonna take a lot to beat him, but you know, it's such a great opportunity to be working with
Max
him as well,
16th,
because I've been
Oscar
learning
19th.
a lot from him, and yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season. Now I always focus race by race, and then we'll see where we end up at the end of the year.
Kimi, go and spray that champagne and enjoy your first Grand Prix victory.
Thank you.
Max DNF'd. Max had an issue.
A very happy podium. Kimi Antonelli and George Russell.
Max had an
Lewis
issue.
Hamilton. I'll take you back. Was it Malaysia 2006? Was the second round of the season in 2006? There was a constructor. It was Renault that day. Had a 1-2 finish, and it was the last race win by an Italian driver in Formula 1, Giancarlo Fisichella, getting the victory for Renault that day. I think it's about 19 years and 361 days ago or something like that. Who are you going to dedicate it to, Kimi? To sign their bottle of champagne. As you're Italian, huh?
Not great. But, I mean, yeah, this is...
Oscar's car is so bad, or some 19 is so unexpected, so he would be P5. Yeah, I reckon he'd be P5.
Such a long journey. People think that Formula 1 drivers just arrive in Formula 1.
I reckon he'd probably,
yeah, such a
he would have
long
been
journey
in a
to
good
get
position
there.
this race.
And it's the family that live and breathe that with you the whole way to that point, and that's what it's all about.
He's too young. We shouldn't put him in a Mercedes. Put him in a smaller team. He needs experience. Look at the mistakes he made. Here we go, Kimi. Victory.
Thanks, Toto.
And congratulations to the club of the Mercedes Grand Prix winners. There isn't many, and now you're part of it. What a mega race. Really happy.
I don't know what the...
Thank you, everyone.
It's one of the only decisions that you make as a team owner, a group of collective engineers
What's that meant to me?
that isn't scientific.
Yeah,
Or is
you
at
go
least
just instinct of it.
exactly, and it's so hard to make that right call, and what a call it was to bring in such a young driver. They potentially missed out on Max Verstappen. They didn't want that to happen again with Kimi Antonelli.
It's a proper upgrade. I'm impressed.
Hey George.
Mi sono cagato addosso.
Io non sei andato lungo, ho detto ferma.
Sì.
Bravo. Buono? E ciao. Right. Well done. You breathe now, yeah?
I always need to give myself a heart attack.
I know you do. Yeah, let me guess, the confidence game.
I think they just noticed they were on TV. They were going to go and do like a deep dive analysis.
You guys on hard were good at the start.
Wow. Yeah. I'm sure half of it as well as tire temperature, because how good they're.
Yeah, but tire blanket at the start of the formation lap was still cold.
Yeah.
Like below. Oh. Wow. This was even nicer than the one press conference. Whoa. My God.
Wow, is that bad?
Yeah. They hit it.
No.
Oh. That's not good.
Whoa.
Yeah, also me.
Free winner, buddy. Amazing. Sheesh. Your head was down from the get-go. When you came back to me, you just left me. I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, on first scene, George was quicker. Then on hard, I felt a bit bad. But the first few laps was terrible. Like I struggled. I think we both struggled like crazy.
I lost 3 positions.
Yeah, no, I almost.
Oh, I lost to you. I lost.
That's how good you got trying.
112 Grand Prix wins between them in the cool-down room there, and Kimi Antonelli's now got one of them.
I love the fact that Lewis Hamilton was mostly interested in the sofa being comfortable.
Even bigger.
Great though, it must bring back those memories for Lewis Hamilton. What was it, 2007 Montreal, his first Grand Prix victory, and yeah, it's just, it must seem like almost a lifetime ago. So much has happened in his career since that moment, and yeah, it must be so nice for him to look over and see a driver going through those same emotions that he went through all those years before.
Now, you admitted your Italian isn't great.
Great.
If we do have people watching, and we have people watching all over the world who speak way better Italian, apologies for what Kimi might have said to Stefano Domenicali about what he did when he went off the track. Great to see Stefano Domenicali in the cool-down room. He'll be pleased to punch, of course, on that one. They'll be looking forward to the Oscars later on tonight. F1 the movie is up for 4 Academy Awards. You couldn't have written this script today, though. Lewis Hamilton with his first podium for Ferrari. George Russell beaten by his younger teammate. Mercedes will have won 2 again. I cannot believe it, he says. Yeah, the top step, that's right for you, young man. Bono, who has been with Lewis and has been very close to George over the years, and now masterminding Kimi on the podium. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Italian national anthem.
now, wouldn't it?
Wait, 2 minutes.
It's at 8 o'clock, mate.
2 minutes.
8 o'clock.
But there's always time for the Italian national anthem when it comes to a podium ceremony, one of the more upbeat anthems that we get. And there's the trophy that's going all the way back to Brackley, where the chassis is built. And I'm sure it'll do a little tour of Brixworth, where the power unit is built as well. It's not all down to the power unit, but Mercedes have aced on the first 2 races of the season. This back-to-back, both the power and the aerodynamics, and they've got the glory as a result of it.
It's always teamwork, isn't it, Crofty? And no more so than in Formula One. And I think that's what Lewis knows as well. He knows it's time to work hard at Maranello to get that car just that little bit faster, so they can really start pressurising Mercedes. And I'm looking forward to seeing how these upgrades come thick and fast this year.
Kimi Antonelli, also the youngest driver to record a hat-trick victory for the win, the pole and the fastest lap. He would have had a Grand Slam, but Lewis Hamilton led the opening lap, and so that he'll have to try again for George Russell. Gets second place today.
Yeah, it hasn't been a perfect weekend for George. Obviously those reliability issues in qualifying put you slightly on the back foot, and Kimi got the pole position, and then this guy here got in the mix, and he had to, I think, settle for second best today, did George. Kimi had things mostly covered out in front.
It's all smiles. Hamilton, first podium for Ferrari. Kimi Antonelli, first win. Bono tucks for cover, and Kimi Antonelli gets showered with champagne. Was it there someone once said you never win anything with kids? I hope they were watching that today. Second youngest Grand Prix winner ever, youngest ever pole sitter, and maybe a new star is born right here in Shanghai. Kimi Antonelli from Mercedes winning the Chinese Grand Prix.
What a race. Kimi Antonelli deserves every single moment of that. Well, that will do the stream for today. Thank you, Ara. Thank you, Andy. As well as thank you, Shino. Thank you, Jen. Thank you to all those people that have joined throughout the weekend. Formula One will return in just over 2 weeks' time for the Japanese Grand Prix, and I'll be back streaming in a couple days as well. But the next time I stream after Thursday will be in just over a week after that for the Japanese Grand Prix. So that is the next lot of racing action you guys will be seeing from me. But that is it for today's coverage. We'll be back in just over 2 weeks' time for the next round for the Japanese Grand Prix. Until then, it's bye-bye.